offering our collective salutations to the Almighty, respected elders, devotees from around the world, staff and students, a good morning and welcome to One World, One Family World Cultural Festival. Every culture is a story, a song of heritage, legacy, and hope. Today, we are delighted to honor and celebrate the Republic of Colombia and its culture, a land where rhythm of life dances to the beat of cumbia and the fragrance of coffee fills the air with warmth. Nestled between the towering Andes Mountains and the shimmering Caribbean coast, Colombia stands as a country where nature's beauty and human's creativity exist in perfect harmony. From the historic streets of Cartagena, echoing with tales of the past, to the mist-covered hills of the Coffee Triangle, where endless plantations stretch across the horizon, Colombia presents a beautiful balance of tradition and progress. Its lush rainforest, open plains of llanos, and crystal-clear rivers reflects country's deep connection with nature and its spirit. Often called the land of magical realism, Colombia is a place where imagination and reality blend seamlessly, a theme wonderfully captured in the work of its Nobel laureate, Gabriel Garcia Marquez, whose writing expressed very soul of the nation. In the spirit of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, Colombia shines as an example of how the union of history, culture, and nature can nurture a world filled with harmony and joy. As part of Universal Wisdom for a United World lecture series, this morning we are honored to welcome Father Enel Antonio Correño Suarez from Colombia. Born in Bogota, Father Antonio's life took a transformative turn in 2002, when a profound spiritual awakening led him to dedicate his life to the service of humanity. A missionary priest of the International Priestly Congregation of Independent Catholics and founder of St. Cathade Integrate, he brings together theology, psychology, and ancestral wisdom to promote harmony between body, mind, and soul. With over 2 decades of experience in holistic psychotherapy, spiritual guidance, and ancestral healing, Father Antonio has touched many lives across the world, creating space for transformation and inner peace. His work reflects a deep commitment to compassion, coherence, and consciousness, values that lies at the heart of the universal wisdom. Today, Father Antonio will share his experience of how each one of us are woven together as one society. He will be addressing all of us in Spanish, and it will be translated to English by Sister Sai Jyoti.
Good morning. Un saludo fraterno y respetuoso y cordial a Sadhguru, con mi profundo y sincero agradecimiento por su invitación a compartir y participar en este maravilloso festival cultural, Un Mundo, Una Familia, en honor a Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Es un honor para mí representar a mi país, Colombia, con humildad, lo cual agradezco a la delegación colombiana de la misión Un Mundo y Una Familia.
A fraternal, respectful, and heartfelt greetings to Sadhguru, with my deep and sincere gratitude for his invitation to share and participate in this wonderful cultural festival, One World, One Family, in honor of Sri Sathya Sai Baba. It is an honor for me to represent my country, Colombia, with humility, and I extend my thanks to the Colombian delegation of the One World, One Family mission.
Saludo a las amadas almas hermanas aquí presentes, los sintientes y vivientes de las 8 direcciones, de todas las dimensiones, guardianes, guías y maestros, protectores, a los abuelos y abuelas de las estrellas, a los antecesores y antecesoras, antepasadas y antepasados, ancestras y ancestros que ahora nos acompañan y sirven desde la eternidad y cumplen los sueños y propósitos de la divinidad.
I also greet all the beloved sister souls present here, the silent and living beings of the directions and all dimensions, the guardians, guides, teachers, protectors, the grandmothers and grandfathers of the stars, our forefathers and foremothers, ancestors, who now accompany and serve us from eternity, fulfilling the dreams and purposes of the divine.
Donde me envíes, iré, y lo que me pidas, haré. Tomé para mi vida esta afirmación de la antigua tradición judía de Jeremías, el profeta de las lágrimas. Debido a su sufrimiento por la rebeldía espiritual de sus contemporáneos, pues su mensaje era muy impopular e incomprendido en su tiempo, y aún así se comprometió con Dios en su labor y su ministerio, con devoción, entrega y dedicación, incluso a costa de su propia vida.
Wherever you send me, I shall go. Whatever you ask of me, I shall do. I have taken this affirmation from the ancient Jewish tradition of Jeremiah, the prophets of tears, so called because of his suffering over the spiritual rebellion of his contemporaries. His message was unpopular and misunderstood in his time, yet he remained devoted to God's mission, offering his life with dedication and commitment.
Por eso estoy aquí también hoy. Es mi plegaria y mi disposición cotidiana en el acuerdo espiritual que honro con mi maestro y amigo y hermano, Jesús, Isha, Yeshua de Nazaret, sin quejas, sin oposición ni resistencia, sino con total confianza, incluso en las dificultades, los imprevistos, las oposiciones y ante cualquier tormenta. Mi determinación es poner los vientos a favor de las velas de la existencia para llegar al puerto de la vida, la armonía, el amor, la hermanidad, en unidad con todos, aunque piensen, sientan, crean, digan y hagan diferente, y que estemos en paz.
For that same reason, I'm here today. This is my daily prayer and disposition in the spiritual covenant I honor with my master, friend, and brother, Jesus, Isha, Yeshua of Nazareth, without complaint, opposition, or resistance, but with total trust and faith. Even in moments of difficulty, unforeseen challenges, oppositions, or storms, my determination is to turn the winds in favor of the sails of existence, so that we may reach the harbor of life, harmony, love, and brotherhood in unity with all. Even those who think, feel, believe, or speak, or act differently, and may we be at peace.
De acuerdo con nuestras tradiciones ancestrales, como me fue enseñado por mis mayores, me presento ante ustedes a nombre mío y de todos los que me acompañan y caminan conmigo espiritualmente en el servicio amoroso, altruista y desinteresado, donde quiera que voy. Fui bautizado en la Iglesia Católica Romana, según la tradición familiar de mis padres, y me llamaron Ángel Antonio Carreño Suárez. Hace 9 años, al recibir la unción como sacerdote y consagración, el nombre que elegí fue Padre Angelus, Ángel de Luz, por imposición de manos de Su Excelencia, nuestro patriarca y fundador de la Congregación Sacerdotal Internacional Católicos Independientes, Monseñor Andrés Tirado Pérez.
According to our ancestral traditions, I stand before you on my own behalf and on behalf of all those who accompany on the spiritual and loving, altruistic and selfless service wherever I go. I was baptized in the Roman Catholic Church according to my parents' family tradition, and my name is Ángel Antonio Carreño Suárez. 9 years ago, upon receiving anointing and consecration as a priest, I chose the name Father Angelus, which means angel of light, by the founder of the International Priestly Congregation of Independent Catholics, Monseñor Andrés Tirado Pérez.
La semilla de mi alma eligió ser sembrada en el ancestral territorio del Abya Yala, que significa tierra viva en florecimiento, hoy conocido como América del Sur, la tierra del cóndor de los Andes, y germiné en un hermoso país llamado Colombia. Corre por mis venas sangre indígena del pueblo muisca, que significa ser gente, ser persona. Y también llevo la sangre de los migrantes colonos europeos de la conquista española, que por mis apellidos he rastreado hasta Egipto y Arabia con las antiguas tradiciones sufis y los nómadas del desierto.
The seed of my soul chose to be sown in the ancestral land of Abya Yala, which means living earth in bloom, today also known as South America, the land of the Andean condor, and I blossomed in a beautiful country called Colombia. In my veins flow the blood of Musica people, which means to be human and to be a person, along with the blood of European settlers from the Spanish conquest. Through my family lineage, I have traced my ancestry back to Egypt and Arabia, carrying with me the ancient Sufi traditions of those of nomads in the desert.
Me han invitado hoy a compartir algunas ideas que puedan ser de utilidad para la vida cotidiana y más que hacerlo de la manera convencional, es decir, académica, magistral, racional y verbalmente, a lo largo de estos 51 años he recibido de mis maestros, guías y mentores en las diferentes vertientes de las que he tenido oportunidad de beber, que la manera más eficaz de aprender y preservar el conocimiento que las experiencias nos brindan es permitiendo que pasen a través de la percepción de nuestros sentidos, nuestros saberes, y la mejor manera, más didáctica, agradable y práctica, es vivirlo, percibirlo y sentirlo para conocer, saber, comprender, analizar, intuir, descubrir, interiorizarlo, grabarlo y así realmente poder afirmar que sí sabemos qué es, de qué se trata, cómo se hace, cómo sucede, qué fenómenos tangibles produce en nuestro interior, donde realmente sucede todo lo que nuestros sentidos están percibiendo, registrando y que llamamos experiencias. Todo ello para incorporarlo, que etimológicamente quiere decir hacerlo cuerpo.
I have been invited to share a few ideas that may be useful in the daily life. Rather than doing it in a conventional and academic way, I have learned over my 51 years that the most effective way to learn and preserve the knowledge that is in the experiential way, by allowing it to pass through our senses. Whenever we choose to learn something new or to deepen our understanding, the most practical way is to live it, perceive it, and feel it, so that we may truly know and understand and integrate it. Only then we can truly say we know that something is, how it happens, and how tangible effects it produces within us.
Para esta propuesta, solicito respetuosamente que por un momento cierres tus ojos, sientas cómo está ahora mismo tu respiración, tu cuerpo, tu mente, tu presencia, y lo registres, pues al finalizar será importante para contrastar la experiencia. Acompáñenme juntos a hacer esta plegaria que deseamos difundir y que llegue a ser universal, asequible a todas las personas en los diferentes credos, religiones y creencias y prácticas espirituales, ha surgido como un maravilloso regalo de una misión como una comunidad indígena en Colombia y que ahora me permito compartir con todos los presentes.
For this purpose, I respectfully ask you to close your eyes for a moment and feel how you are right now, your breathing, your body, your mind, and your presence. Take note of this moment, for at the end, it will be important to compare your experience. Please join me in this prayer, which we wish to share and make universal, accessible to people of all faiths, religions, beliefs, and spiritual practices.
Les invito que la hagamos de manera pausada, permitiéndonos sentir en cada parte de nuestro ser cada afirmación. Digamos juntos.
Let us say it in slowly, allowing ourselves to feel each affirmation in every part of our being. Let us say it together in silently.
Madre, Padre, divinidad que habitas en mí y en todo lo que existe.
Mother, Father, Divinity, who dwells within me, within all that exists.
Bendigo todo mi ser en tu sagrada presencia.
I bless my entire being in your sacred presence.
Reconozco tu autoridad sobre mi ser, estableciendo relaciones de amor.
I acknowledge your authority over my being, establishing relationships of love
Entre mi mente, mi cuerpo, mi espíritu,
between my mind, my body, and my spirit,
y en armonía con mis semejantes y todo lo creado.
in harmony with my fellow beings and all creation.
Gracias por el pan de cada día.
Thank you for the bread of each day.
Concede sobre nuestra vida tu divina voluntad.
Grant upon our lives your divine will,
Todo lo bueno,
all that is good,
lo perfecto,
perfect,
lo oportuno,
timely,
lo eficaz,
effective,
lo conveniente,
appropriate,
lo necesario y lo suficiente.
necessary, and sufficient.
Que mi vida sea expresión y transparencia de los dones de tu Santo Espíritu.
May my life be an expression and reflection of the eternal gifts of your Holy Spirit,
Inteligencia,
intelligence,
sabiduría,
wisdom,
conocimiento,
knowledge,
discernimiento,
discernment,
ciencia,
understanding,
consejo,
counsel,
amor,
love,
paz,
peace,
armonía,
harmony,
unidad en la diversidad.
and unity in diversity.
No nos dejes caer en la tentación de la ira,
Do not let us fall into the temptation of anger,
el odio, el rencor, el resentimiento,
hatred, resentment, bitterness,
el desprecio o el rechazo de nuestros hermanos.
contempt, or rejections of our brothers and sisters.
Líbrame de todo mal y líbrame de hacerle mal a mis hermanos.
Deliver me from all evil and deliver me from doing harm to my brothers and sisters.
Así es, así se cumple, así se realiza, hecho está.
So it is, so it shall be, so it is fulfilled, it is done.
Kubuta o casa,
Kubuta o casa.
en el dialecto muisca quiere decir, esta es mi palabra.
In the Muisca language, this means, this is my word.
Ahora tómate un instante y contrasta tu percepción y quédate con ello, presérvalo en ti y cada que lo consideres necesario, evoca este momento y recuérdalo a todo tu ser.
Now, take a moment to notice your perception, to remain with it, to preserve it within you. Whenever you feel the need, recall this moment and remind your whole being of it.
Agradezco a todos su participación y ahora expongo algunas ideas que reafirmen y puedan aportar una mayor comprensión.
I thank everyone for your participation, and now I will share some reflections that may help to reaffirm and deepen our understanding.
La tradición ancestral en la ley de origen enseña, en el principio es el espíritu y el espíritu es la palabra, y la palabra se hace vida y habita en nosotros.
Ancestral tradition, according to the law of origin, teaches us, in the being is the Spirit, and the Spirit is the Word, and the Word becomes life and dwells within us.
En la tradición cristiana, los textos sagrados en el primer libro de la Biblia, en el Génesis dice:
In the Christian tradition, the sacred scriptures in the very first book of the Bible, Genesis, said,
en el principio todo estaba desordenado y vacío. Las tinieblas llenaban el vacío y el Espíritu de Dios se movía sobre la superficie de las aguas. Y entonces dijo Dios: que se haga la luz, y hubo luz. Y vio Dios que la luz era buena, y separó Dios la luz de las tinieblas. A la luz la llamó día, y a la oscuridad noche. Y así fue la mañana y la tarde del primer día.
In the beginning, everything was formless and empty, and darkness covered the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the surface of the waters. And God said, let there be light. And there was light. And God saw that the light was good. And he separated the light from the darkness. The light, he called the light day, and the darkness night. And there was evening and morning on the first day.
En la cultura sumeria y babilónica también tienen su propio relato, el Enuma Elis, poema babilónico de la creación, cuyo título hace referencia a las dos primeras palabras del verso, cuando en lo alto.
The Sumerian and Babylonian cultures also have their own creation story, the Enuma Elis, whose title refers to its opening words, when on high.
Fue uno de los poemas más difundidos antiguamente, puesto que se recitaba en Babilonia para celebrar la llegada del Año Nuevo. El poema está compuesto por 7 tablillas que suman cerca de 1100 versos en los que se cuenta la creación del mundo a través de la palabra. El primer verso dice:
It was one of the most widespread poems of ancient times, recited in Babylon to celebrate the arrival of the new year. The poem is composed of 7 tablets totaling about 1100 verses, telling the story of the world's creation through the word. The first lines read:
Cuando en lo alto el cielo no estaba nombrado y la tierra abajo aún no tenía razón, el primigenio Apsu que los engendró y el caos Tiamat, la madre de ambos, sus aguas mezclaron. El mundo fue poco a poco cobrando forma, y de la unión de estos nacieron Ashar y Kishar, los límites del cielo y la tierra que se encuentran en el horizonte. Ashar dio a luz a Anu, el cielo, y Anu a su vez engendró a Ea, la tierra.
When on high the heavens had not yet been named, and the earth below had not yet taken form, the primeval Apsu, who begot them, and the chaos, Tiamat, the mother of both, mingled their waters together. The world slowly began to take shape, and from their union were born Anshar and Kishar, the boundaries of heaven and earth that meet at the horizon. Anshar gave birth to Anu, the sky, and Anu, in turn, engendered Ea, the earth.
Para los antiguos egipcios existen diferentes versiones, como los mitos de creación de Heliópolis, Hermópolis y Memphis, donde las divinidades como Ptah crean el mundo por medio de su palabra.
For the ancient Egyptians, there are different versions as well, such as the creation myth of Heliopolis, Hermopolis, and Memphis, where the deities like Ptah create the world through the power of speech.
Así como estos relatos, existen muchos más, en cada cultura, pueblo y tradición, que en esencia nos recuerdan el poder y el cuidado al utilizar la palabra, porque podemos con ella crear o destruir, animar o maltratar, bendecir o causar mal.
And just like these, there are countless of other stories in cultures and traditions across the world. All of them, in essence, remind us of the power and sacred responsibility of our words. For through them, we may create or destroy, uplift or wound, bless or bring harm.
Continúo con una analogía entre las enseñanzas ancestrales y una de las parábolas de Jesús, Yeshua o Isha, dependiendo del idioma en que lo pronunciamos.
I continue with an analogy between ancestral teachings and one of the parables of Jesus, Yeshua or Isha, depending on the language in which his name is spoken.
En la tradición ancestral, todo tiene espíritu. Tenemos los 4 elementos esenciales: tierra, aire, agua, fuego, las 8 direcciones, 4 cardinales, norte, sur, oriente, occidente, y 4 espirituales, como es adentro es afuera, como es arriba es abajo. Por ello, al rezar decimos: tierra es mi cuerpo, aire es mi aliento, agua es mi sangre, fuego mi espíritu. Yo soy la palabra que camina, yo hago lo que digo, yo vivo lo que hago, yo cosecho los frutos de lo que siembro en mi mente. Mis pensamientos son semillas plantadas en el terreno fértil de mi mente. Las semillas son palabras que germinan, crecen y prosperan en abundancia, en coherencia con lo que pienso, siento, digo y hago, en beneficio o en perjuicio, según lo que sembré con mi intención, mi voluntad, mi propósito y mi rezo.
In ancestral tradition, everything has a spirit. We recognize the 4 essential elements: earth, water, air, and fire, and the 8 directions for the 4 cardinal points: north, south, east, and west, and the 4 spiritual ones: as within, so without, as above, so below. That is why when we pray, we say, earth is my body, air is my word and breath, water is my blood, and fire is my spirit. I am the walking word. I do what I say. I live what I do. I harvest the fruits of what I sow in my mind. My thoughts are seeds planted in the fertile soil of my mind. The seeds are words that germinate, grow, and flourish in abundance, in coherence with what I think, feel, say, and do, for good or for harm, according to what I have sown with my intention, my will, my purpose, and my prayer.
En la tradición religiosa cristiana, Jesús nos enseña la parábola del sembrador, tomado del Evangelio de San Mateo, del capítulo 13, versículos del 1 al 9.
In the Christian religion tradition, Jesus teaches us the parable of the sower, taken from the Gospel of St. Matthew, chapter 13, verses 1 to 9.
Salió Jesús de la casa y se sentó a la orilla del lago. Una gran multitud se reunió para verlo. Era tan grande que él tuvo que subir a una barca, donde se sentó mientras toda la gente permanecía de pie en la orilla. Él les dijo en parábolas muchas cosas como estas. Un sembrador salió a sembrar. Mientras iba esparciendo las semillas, una parte cayó junto al camino. Llegaron los pájaros y se la comieron. Otra parte cayó entre las piedras, sin mucha tierra, y las raíces no pudieron alimentarse. Y cuando salió el sol, las plantas se marchitaron y murieron. Otra parte de las semillas cayó entre las espinas. Al germinar y crecer, las plantas se ahogaron, pero las otras semillas cayeron en buena tierra, y se dio una cosecha que rindió hasta el 100, 60 y 30 veces más de lo que se había sembrado. Quien tenga oídos para oír, que oiga.
That same day, Jesus went out of the house and sat by the lake. Such large crowds gathered around him, and that he had to go into a boat and sat in it, while all the people stood on the shore. Then he told them many things in parables, saying, A sower went out to sow. As he scattered the seed, Some fell along the path, and birds came and ate it up. Some fell on rocky places where there was not much soil. The plants sprang up quickly, but because the soil was shallow, when the sun came up, the plants were scorched and withered because they had not root. Other seed fell among the thorns, which grew up and choked the plants. Still, other seed fell on good soil, where it produced a crop, 100, 60, or 30 times what was sown. Whoever has ears, let them hear.
Comparto unas preguntas para la reflexión cotidiana a partir de estas afirmaciones.
Now, I share a few questions of our personal and daily reflections inspired by these teachings.
¿Cuáles son los pajaritos, las distracciones que diariamente se comen tus semillas? Es decir, tu concentración, tu buena voluntad, tus intenciones, tus propósitos, y te quedas al lado del camino, te retrasas y te incumples.
What are the little birds, the distractions that each day eat your seeds? That is, your focus, your goodwill, your intentions, and your purposes. What makes you stop along the path and delay yourself or fail to fulfill what you set out to do?
¿Cuáles son las piedras, dificultades, obstáculos, quejas, reclamos, excusas, pretextos, disculpas o justificaciones con las que te tropiezas, repites errores y van secando tus raíces?
What are the stones, the difficulties, obstacles, complaints, excuses, or justifications that make you stumble? These which cause you to repeat the same mistakes, slowly drying out your roots?
¿Cuáles son las espinas, tus actitudes, comportamientos, intolerancia, impaciencia, afán, nerviosismo, miedo, inseguridad, con las que te rasguñas, te irritas, te molestas, te incomodas y que te terminan ahogando porque las callas, tratas de ocultarlas, disimularlas o aparentas que no ocurre nada?
What are the thorns, attitudes, behaviors, impatience, nervousness, fear, insecurity that scratch, irritate, or disturb you? The ones you try to hide or silence, pretending that nothing is wrong, yet that end up suffocating you from within?
¿Cuáles son esas maravillosas semillas, habilidades, capacidades, dones, talentos que han germinado, prosperado y que tal vez aún no reconoces o aprecias o valoras lo suficiente y que otros sí reconocen en ti?
And what are those wonderful seeds? This means your abilities, gifts, talents, and capacities that have already germinated and blossomed in your life, but which you might still fail to recognize, appreciate, or value fully, even though others do see them in you?
Dejo estas preguntas para la reflexión y meditación cotidiana.
I leave these questions for your daily meditation and contemplation.
Comparto brevemente una anécdota que me sucedió cuando tenía 5 años de edad y que marcó el sendero del camino para mi vida, cuando mi padre me inscribió en clases de karate do. Kara, mano, te, vacío, do, camino. Karate, el camino de la mano vacía. Y el instructor me preguntó, ¿para qué quieres aprender karate? Para defenderme, le respondí. Él me preguntó de nuevo, ¿y quién te está atacando? Y con esta pregunta me desarmó, me dejó en silencio y quedé reflexivo. Entonces me dijo una frase que jamás olvidé. Aprende primero a meditar, escuchar, reconciliar, reparar, unir, sanar, integrar y servir, porque agredir, maltratar, herir, gritar, mentir, golpear, romper, separar, dividir, excluir, conflictuar, confundir, estropear, sabotear, eso es muy común, muy elemental. Es el sendero inseguro, permanente y conocido de la ignorancia, la agresión y la mediocridad.
I share one more anecdote. When I was a child and I wanted to learn karate, my professor asked me, why do you want to study karate? And I answered, because I want to learn to defend myself. So he said, why you have to defend yourself from? And the most important things we need to defend from are the negative behaviors that we have, negativities, insecurities, bitterness, and this is what we have to learn from to defend ourselves.
Solamente tengo infinita gratitud por las infinitas y múltiples experiencias, los caminos andados, el compartir con personas maravillosas de diferentes tradiciones y culturas que me ha enriquecido de muchas maneras incalculables. Me ha llevado a lugares que de niño soñé y que ahora siento la satisfacción, que estoy cumpliendo los sueños con el niño que hay en mí. Y cuando has recibido tanto y lo reconoces y lo agradeces, dice mi maestro Yeshua, comparte lo que tienes con tus hermanos, entrégalos sin medida y aquel que quiera ser el primero o el elegido, hágase el servidor de todos.
I only want to say that I'm infinite grateful for all the experiences that I have shared in this way of life. And I want to say that we have to share this with the others.
Termino con la bendición sacerdotal. El Señor te bendiga y te guarde. El Señor haga resplandecer su rostro sobre ti y tenga de ti misericordia. El Señor alce su rostro sobre ti y ponga en ti su paz. En el nombre del Padre, y del Hijo, y del Espíritu Santo. Amén.
I finish with the last prayer. May the Lord bless and protect you and have mercy upon us in the name of the Father, the Holy Spirit, and the Son. Amen.
Muchas gracias, Padre, por sus palabras y por presencia con este evento. We extend our heartfelt gratitude to Father Anel Antonio Correño for sharing his wisdom with all of us this morning. We now invite Professor Sri Kantamurthy, Vice Chancellor, Sri Sathya Sai University for Human Excellence, to extend our token of gratitude and appreciation to Father Antonio. We will now have a short break for 10 minutes and then reconvene for Satya Darpan.
गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथा
गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथा
गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथा
गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथा
सुरमुनिवन्दिता गुणशीला
सुरमुनिवन्दिता गुणशीला
सुरमुनिवन्दिता गुणशीला
सुरमुनिवन्दिता गुणशीला
गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथा
गजमुख गणनाथा
गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथा
गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथा
सुरमुनिवन्दिता गुणशीला
सुरमुनिवन्दिता गुणशीला
गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथा सुरमुनिवन्दिता गुणशीला
सुरमुनिवन्दिता गुणशीला
सुरमुनिवन्दिता गुणशीला
सुरमुनिवन्दिता गुणशीला
गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथा
गजमुख गणनाथा
सुरमुनिवन्दिता गुणशीला
सुरमुनिवन्दिता गुणशीला
गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथा
गजमुख गणनाथा
गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथा
गजमुख गणनाथा
सुरमुनिवन्दिता गुणशीला
सुरमुनिवन्दिता गुणशीला
गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथा
गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथा
सुरमुनिवन्दिता गुणशीला
सुरमुनिवन्दिता गुणशीला
सुरमुनिवन्दिता गुणशीला
सुरमुनिवन्दिता गुणशीला
गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथा
दया करो कृपा करो परतेश्वर साई देवा दया करो कृपा करो परतेश्वर साई देवा जन्म जन्म तुम साथ रहो
साथ रहो
दया करो कृपा करो परमेश्वर साई देवा शिरडीश्वर साई देवा परमेश्वर साई देवा शिरडीश्वर साई देवा परमेश्वर साई देवा दया करो कृपा करो परमेश्वर साई देवा जन्म जन्म तुम साथ रहो
जन्म जन्म तुम साथ रहो
साईनाथ महादेवा
साईनाथ महादेवा
दया करो कृपा करो परमेश्वर साई देवा
दया करो कृपा करो परमेश्वर साई देवा
दया करो कृपा करो परमेश्वर साई देवा
कृपा करो परमेश्वर साई देवा
शिरडीश्वर साई देवा परमेश्वर साई देवा शिरडीश्वर साई देवा परमेश्वर साई देवा दया करो कृपा करो परमेश्वर साई देवा
मधुसूदना हरे माधवा मधुसूदना हरे माधवा मधुसूदना हरे माधवा
डम डम डमरू डमरुनाथ शिव डमरू डमरुनाथ शिव डम डमरू डमरुनाथ शिव डमरू डमरुनाथ शिव धीमित धीमित धीमि गौरीनाथ शिव धीमित धीमि गौरीनाथ शिव धीमित धीमित धीमि गौरीनाथ शिव धीमित धीमित धीमि गौरीनाथ शिव डम डमरू डमरुनाथ शिव डमरू डमरुनाथ शिव नटन मनोहर नटराजा शिव नटन मनोहर नटराजा शिव नटन मनोहर नटराजा शिव नटन मनोहर नटराजा शिव हर बम बम भोलेनाथ 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 शिव शंभो शंकर विश्वनाथ शिव शंभो शंकर विश्वनाथ शिव शिवाय नमः शिव साईनाथ 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 शिव डम डम डमरू डमरुनाथ शिव डमरू डमरुनाथ शिव धीमित धीमित धीमि भोलेनाथ शिव धीमित धीमि भोलेनाथ शिव डम डमरू डमरुनाथ शिव डमरू डमरुनाथ शिव नटन मनोहर नटराजा शिव नटन मनोहर नटराजा शिव हर बम बम भोलेनाथ शिव हर बम भोलेनाथ शिव शंभो शंकर विश्वनाथ शिव शंभो शंकर विश्वनाथ शिव शिवाय नमः शिव साईनाथ शिव शिवाय नमः शिव साईनाथ शिवाय नमः शिव साईनाथ शिव शिवाय नमः शिव साईनाथ शिव डम डमरू डमरुनाथ शिव भजो भजो राम सत्य साई राम 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 भजो भजो श्याम साई घनश्याम 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 भजो भजो राम सत्य साई राम भजो राम सत्य साई राम कलयुग के अवतार कलयुग के अवतार कलयुग के अवतार कलयुग के अवतार जगदोधारा साई भगवान जगदोधारा पावन सीताराम
पतित पावन साई राम
पतित पावन साई
पतित पावन साई राम
पतित पावन साई
भजो भजो राम सत्य साई राम
भजो राम सत्य साई राम
भजो भजो श्याम साई घनश्याम
भजो भजो श्याम साई घनश्याम
भजो भजो राम सत्य साई राम
भजो राम सत्य साई राम
कलयुग के अवतार
कलयुग के अवतार
जगदोधारा साई भगवान
जगदोधारा साई भगवान
पतित पावन सीताराम
पतित पावन सीताराम
पतित पावन साई राम
पतित पावन साई राम
पतित पावन साई राम
पतित पावन साई राम
भजो भजो राम
सत्य साई राम
राधे गोविंद कृष्ण मुरारी राधे गोविंद कृष्ण मुरारी राधे गोविंद कृष्ण मुरारी राधे गोविंद कृष्ण मुरारी जय साई मुकुंद मुरारी जय साई मुकुंद मुरारी जय साई मुकुंद मुरारी जय साई मुकुंद मुरारी राधे गोविंद कृष्ण मुरारी राधे गोविंद कृष्ण मुरारी नंदा नंदा राधे गोविंदा नंदा नंदा राधे गोविंदा नंदा नंदा राधे गोविंदा नंदा नंदा राधे गोविंदा राधे गोविंदा साई मुकुंदा राधे गोविंदा साई मुकुंदा राधे गोविंदा साई मुकुंदा राधे गोविंदा साई मुकुंदा सत्य साई मुकुंद मुरारी सत्य साई मुकुंद मुरारी सत्य साई मुकुंद मुरारी सत्य साई मुकुंद मुरारी राधे गोविंद कृष्ण मुरारी राधे गोविंद कृष्ण मुरारी जय साई मुकुंद मुरारी जय साई मुकुंद मुरारी राधे गोविंद कृष्ण मुरारी राधे गोविंद कृष्ण मुरारी नंदा नंदा राधे गोविंदा नंदा नंदा राधे गोविंदा राधे गोविंदा साई मुकुंदा राधे गोविंदा साई मुकुंदा सत्य साई मुकुंद मुरारी सत्य साई मुकुंद मुरारी सत्य साई मुकुंद मुरारी सत्य साई मुकुंद मुरारी राधे गोविंद कृष्ण मुरारी
Offering our collective salutations at the feet of our beloved Sadhguru, respected elders, devotees from around the world, staff and students. Good morning and welcome to Satya Darpan. Yesterday, Sadhguru began his discourse by emphasizing the importance of experiencing the essence of the scriptures through practical understanding rather than limiting oneself to mere intellectual knowledge. While elaborating on the third sloka of the 15th chapter, Sadhguru explained that true knowledge of the self transforms even an eloquent, wise, and active individual into one who may appear quiet, inert, and detached. Such a state is often misunderstood and dismissed by the bubukshus, those who seek only worldly pleasures. Sadhguru further reminded us of the importance of Drikdrishya Viveka, the discrete between the seer and the seen, and encouraged its regular practice to strengthen our conviction in the eternal truth. Offering practical guidance for daily life, he advised never to speak in anger, never to make promises in excitement, and never to take decision under emotional influence. Reiterating the value of satsanga, or the company of the noble and wise, Swami concluded by urging everyone to serve this divine mission with the right attitude, without excuses, free from the sense of doership and enjoyership, and with steadfast dedication. We now pray to Sadhguru to continue his explanation of chapter 15 of the Ashtavakra Gita.
Sahana bhavatu Sahanau bhunaktu Sahaviryam karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Once Bhagavan in his poem defined what does it mean to be a Sadguru, or who is a Sadguru, and he said, Vishwa Shantini Chekurche Vidamu Neripi Sankuchita Bhavamulilla Samaya Jesi Samata Nirpunade Vade Sadgurudu, Sarmata Nirpunade Vade Sadgurudu, means the one who shows the way to world peace and removes narrow-mindedness from people and teaches equanimity to all. Such a person alone is Sadguru. So if you look at our mission now, first criteria is Vishwa Shanti, world peace. And a way to world peace. It's not just about having a discussion or having just a conference and some kind of a conversation and dialogue, but it is about showing the way to world peace. And what could be a better way to show how to attain world peace than to treat everybody as their own family, that everybody as their very own, and then you will be at peace. Because when your finger hurts your eyes, you don't punish the finger. It is also yours, eye is also yours. So you forgive the finger. In fact, you are careful next time. With the same finger, you rub the eyes and make sure that it is comfortable. Likewise, when I often tell that while eating or while talking, we inadvertently bite our tongue and it bleeds. But then we don't break our teeth away and punish them, because we know teeth are also ours, tongue is also ours. So yes, within a family also, sometimes there are disagreements and conflicts, but then because we are a family, we learn to forgive and forget and learn to live with each other. That is the way to the world peace. The second criteria he says is Sankuchita Bhavamula Nella Samaya Chesi, to even out all those narrow-minded feelings. I and them, I, mine, and they and theirs. What we call today as us versus them. So that idea of narrow-mindedness also is removed. It means selfishness is removed and selflessness is taught. And the third one is Samata, Nirpunadevade. Samata means equanimity, equal-mindedness in all situations of life. So when you learn these three things from someone, such a person alone is Sadguru. The way to world peace, he not only shows the way, knows the way, but goes the way also. That is the way a teacher should be. Should be able to remove selfish narrow-mindedness from the people and help them think broad-mindedly, help them think selflessly. And the third is give them the ability to go through the motions of life, ups and downs, challenges and opportunities with equanimity, with equal-mindedness. So if you learn all these things from someone, such a person alone is a Sadguru. And I was also remembering that a few days back we celebrated the Avatar Declaration Day. And as I said, it's truly not the Avatar Declaration Day, because that day he did not say, I'm an avatar. Rather, he went and sang a song, the first ever preaching, which was Manasa Bhajare Guru Charanam, Dushtara Bhavasagara Taranam, Guru Maharaj, Guru Jai Jai, Sai Nath Sadguru Jai Jai. He did not say Sai Nath Avatar Jai Jai or Sai Nath Bhagavan Jai Jai. He said Sai Nath Sadguru Jai Jai. The one who teaches the world these three principles is a Sadguru. That is what Bhagavan taught all his life. How to live in harmony and peace. How in body, mind and spirit. How to remove narrow-mindedness from the people and help them think selflessly. And how to develop equanimity. Manchi Chaddala Kuda Manasaslo Samamuga Bhavinchuchute Bhakti Naku, he said. Those who treat good and bad times equally, Samamuga, equally in their mind, such people only are true devotees of mine. Those who complain and cry during difficult times and get excited and celebrate during easy times, they are not the devotees, they fluctuate all the time. But those who are able to take life with equanimity, they alone are truly my devotees, he said. So when he said, my devotees are waiting for me, he was waiting for such devotees. Devotees who are able to take everything with equanimity. So it is not a coincidence that he called himself a Sadguru, and he himself defined what a Sadguru is supposed to be doing. To bring world peace, to remove narrow-mindedness, and to teach equanimity to all the people. All else that he did, healing and miracles and so many other things of glory, which most of the people got stuck with, that was not his original purpose. As he always said, my miracles are my visiting cards. He just was just to attract people to himself. Like children don't listen to the teacher in the class. The teacher does some tricks or cracks some jokes or makes some faces. And that is how he attracts the attention of the noisy children. Likewise, he did things to attract their attention so that he could draw their attention to the greater truth that he has come to teach, of world peace and selflessness and equanimity. And that is how slowly the teachings began. And we also discussed that during the 6 phases of his avatar, starting with Leela, Mahima, Upadesha, Vidya, Vaidya and Sanatana Dharma Sthapana. This last phase he spent mostly on emphasizing on the ideals of Sanatana Dharma. He was always telling about it, but with more emphasis towards the fag end of his avatarhood. And in a way, all the 6 were there in all phases, but with different focus. In the beginning, it was more about those miracles which would attract people to him from far away. Because in a small place like Puttaparthi, who would come? Who would even know that such a person existed? There were no YouTubes, no phones, no internet, nothing. So it was his own divine way of attracting people. Then he did great deeds, Mahimas. He showed his true power to people when they came to him. And they all were enamored by that, and they became devotees. Whether it was raising the dead or curing the sick or, doing so many other wonderful things which are beyond humans. So he proved to people that he is not just a mere human. He looks like one, but he's not one. And then he slowly started preaching them. Once he had attracted them with Leelas and Mahimas, he started giving preachings, Upadeshas. And then he started teaching about his principles of love and service, of divinity of all existence, and also started teaching them how to really practice those. Then came Vidya. But that was not enough. There were people who needed basics like education, health and such things. Without that, they will not listen to preachings. As they say, do not preach to an empty stomach. And so he started providing for social requirements of people. Educational institutions were established. And eventually hospitals were established for the first time in the world. Both education and hospital services were made totally free of charge. Of course, water supply was also given, but water supply is a part of the social work that he was doing. Without water, we cannot survive. So like this, the social side of things came out of it. But his whole aim was to teach people these three things only: world peace, selflessness, and equanimity. That was the undercurrent of all the activities. And finally, Sanatana Dharma. He established, he set models. Once I had asked him, do you think all these models that you have set, people will be able to replicate? Then he said, that is the whole idea of setting up these models, so that people get inspired and replicate. Not just put it on a pedestal and worship them, saying this is something only he could do. But once I asked one of very leading heart surgeon in Karnataka, and now of course whole of India. In one of the interviews I asked him, I was given to interview him, I was a student or a volunteer that time. And I asked him, these models of healthcare that Bhagavan has created, do you think these are things that people can emulate? And he said no. And I was shocked, because Bhagavan wanted us to emulate his models, not just have one of 2 or 3 hospitals and that's about it. He said no. And coming from somebody who had established many hospitals, it was a shock to me. Then I asked him, why do you think so? He said, it is impossible to run it for free, like he did. It is impossible, he said. And I was very disappointed in that answer. I thought the idea of these hospitals was to inspire people to emulate them. And here is a person who has all the capacity and resources and say this is impossible. Of course, today it has become a highly successful chain of hospitals, but also highly invested by the private equities and so on and so forth. So all the time the bottom line, top line, that battle goes on. But okay, that is still some help to people who were lost and they did not have access to it. But free was not done. So I used to always think whether it will be ever possible for us to replicate these models, or will these remain those utopian ideas which nobody will ever replicate, and they will remain as pages in the books of history, that once Sai Baba had built free hospitals and that was it. After that nothing happened. But today, only, as he said, Swami Vivekananda said, only another Vivekananda would know who this Vivekananda is. Like that, only another Sadguru would know who this Sadguru is. And when he taught me to be Sadguru, he taught me these principles. And that is why we are able to replicate, because it is true, only Sai Baba can replicate Sai Baba. Who else can do that? So, only another Sadguru can understand the heart of a Sadguru. And Bhagavan used to teach us all these things with so much of passion. Let me tell you, to be very honest, I was also a student sitting there like all of you. In fact, I used to sit right in the first row, so I had a huge responsibility to go on nodding my head and showing interest in his speech. Otherwise, later he'll ask, I haven't spoken well today. Then you have to tell, no, Swami, it was wonderful. Then you have to quote 2-3 things from his. If you just say, Chala bagundan Swami ante, he will not believe. Then you have to quote some 2-3 things. That story that you told was very good for the children. And then some philosophy that he told. 2-3 things when you tell, then he gets convinced that yes, his discourse was good. Otherwise, he used to feel very bad that he has not spoken very well. It is his nature, Jiva Prajna. So he was like that, a teacher. Teacher wants feedback, isn't it? Have I taught well? Have you understood everything? So he was like that. He would ask. And I used to sit right in front, so always he'll keep looking at my eyes and checking whether I am showing any interest. So you have to be absolutely attentive if you are right in the front. Not that he can't see the back of the hall, but just that he was very particular that people responded correctly, nodded, affirmed. So that was his nature. And I have had a lot of interactions with him during those days. After discourses, he has asked me, how was the discourse? What do you think was right? I would tell things, whatever I had understood from that. And he would feel very happy. Once I told him, your discourses are so easy to understand. So easily you tell. It is very easy for us to understand. Then he said, and then I said, these books, if we go and pick up and read these Upanishads and other things, it is so difficult to understand. Nothing goes inside. But when we hear you speak, it is easy. Then he told, Adanta Granthamu Nadi Gandhamu, he said. All that is Grantha, it means books. Mine is Gandha, like fragrance, which does not need effort. It spontaneously, naturally reaches out to people. So mine is like that, he said. My knowledge or my teaching is like spontaneous and effortless, like fragrance emanating from a flower. Whereas all that is bookish knowledge. So he was very proud teacher. When he used to see that children are learning, he used to become very happy. And often he would ask, as I said, feedback on his discourses, which whoever was around, including our Narasimhamurthy sir, would know. That he would ask, how was it? And we would have to pick out 2-3 points and say, these were very good points. Then he would be very satisfied. So he was a guru at the end. He was not just a social worker or a spiritual leader or a miracle worker or what you call avatar and advent. Maybe all that he was, but primarily his main thought was to be a guru, to be a Sadguru who teaches. And that is why he told, Aham manushyo nachadeva yakshaha, na brahmana kshatriyo vaishya shudraha, na brahmachari gruhi vanastaha, aham Satya Bodhakaha Satyam Shivam Sundaram. This is what he defined himself as. That I am not a Manushya, means I am not a human being. Nacha Deva, and I am not God. Yakshaha, these demigods, none of these I am. Then Na Brahmano, Kshatriyo, Vaishya, Shudra. I do not belong to the 4 classes of people, the intellectuals, the administrators, the warriors, and the tradesmen, and the labor class. I am none of these. All people are classified in one of these 4. Then he says, Na brahmachari grihi vanastha. I am not in any stage of life. Am I a brahmachari, student? No. Am I a grahastha, a householder? No. Am I a vanaprasthi, living in the forest as a monk? No. Am I a renunciate, a sannyasi? No. I don't belong to any of these. So who am I? He answered, I am Satya Bodhakaha. I am the teacher of truth. I am here to teach the truth, and truth of your divinity is the truth that I have come to teach. That's all he was. And that truth's nature is Satyam Shivam Sundaram. That is real, true, goodness. It is auspicious and good and beautiful. The truth's nature is it is beautiful. Beautiful is not as we see it, as we understand it. Beauty is felt in the heart. So you feel very happy when you see things of beauty. A thing of beauty is joy forever, as they say. So when you hear these truths which are beautiful, you feel joy within. That joy should be the outcome of all these discourses and lectures. You should feel happy that I have learned some truth today. And when you practice it, you really experience it much more intensely. So this was his basic definition, that why this is. So when he told me, you will be called as Sadguru, I did not understand the gravity of all of it. I just said, okay, some title. But now I understand, as you live and walk in those shoes, you understand what exactly he expected. He expected that you must teach how to bring world peace. You must teach people to get rid of their selfish narrow-mindedness. You must teach people to develop equanimity and fortitude. And you must lead them by hand in all these ways. So that is what this mission has slowly translated or transformed itself to be called as One World, One Family mission, which is the straightaway answer to all the conflicts in the world. Treat each other as a family and be nice to each other. Be ready to sacrifice for each other, be ready to serve each other. Be ready to let go of your narrow-mindedness and individuality and selfishness. And be ready to take whatever comes in your way with fortitude and equanimity and survive together as a family by supporting each other during those difficult times and by sharing joys and sorrows with each other. So family, one word, has kind of summarized the entire purpose of Sadguru. And that somehow I just came across that poetry. So I thought I will share with you because that was the uppermost thought in my mind. And also it gives clarity to everybody about what is happening now versus what was happening then, and how both are having the common purpose of being Sadguru to the world, which is to teach the truths to the world. That is how his life was, that is how it continues to be now. So there is no conflict, there is no contradiction. It is continuation only in a more intense and glorified way. Naturally, as you keep doing something for a long time, you get better at it. So you get better at doing things. You build hospitals fast. You run educational institutions in a much more focused and intense way, and build the mission not just in India but around the world in a much more strong or firm way. And these are all things that you learn over a period of time. So there is an advantage this mission has of the experience of the previous. So continuation always helps you to do things faster. So back to Ashtavakra, who is also a Sadguru, because what is he teaching Janaka? He is teaching these things, how to be at peace, because unless you are at peace, how can you bring world peace? If you are restless and angry and frustrated, how can you bring peace to others? So Ashtavakra says, first you transform yourselves. You learn the truth so that the truth will let you be at peace, let you be happy. Once you are happy and peaceful, only then you can spread happiness and peace to others. That is what is the role of a king. A king must have a peaceful kingdom, a kingdom where everybody is happy and joyful, where everybody is satisfied and everybody is living their true purpose. And that a king must enable, facilitate. And unless the king is a jnani, how can he create jnana in his kingdom? So Yatha Raja Tatha Praja. So Ashtavakra has transformed Janaka by teaching him all these things, how to bring peace to his kingdom, how to teach people to live for each other selflessly, and how to go through the motions of life. Even as a king, you will have good days and bad days. How do you go through it with equanimity so that you don't lose your balance and you are able to do your job with greater efficiency? So all this our Janaka has learnt, and so the discourse is going on. Ashtavakra is continuously talking about it, and in this chapter, 15th chapter also, he keeps telling him that do not treat yourself as the body, not even treat body as yours. It is a rented vehicle in which you are traveling. That's about it. Do not pay too much of attention to it, because the more attention you pay to it, the more it becomes desirous of it. And then once you get addicted to the body, it's very difficult to de-addict yourself. Digital de-addiction is possible. Deham de-addiction is very difficult. Because once you get used to that, it's very difficult. And unfortunately, all of us are so addicted to the body because we believe that is all is our existence and identity. Without body, we don't exist. We think we don't have an identity and existence. So that scares us because death scares us. Death means end of the body. End of the body means our end of our existence. That is the fear. That's why we hold on to the body so strongly, because that is the only identity we know of. But our scriptures say no. You have been here many, many times and in different bodies, in different situations, born to different parents, doing different things in different lifetimes. This is not the first time. So once you know that, then you are free from this attachment to the body. That knowledge is the knowledge of the self, which in the last one he said, Naham deho, natvam deho, nate deho. You are not the body is also not yours. Therefore, bhokta, karta, nava bhavan. Therefore, doer and enjoyer also you can't be, because doing is happening through the body and body, and enjoying also is happening in the body. So you start associating with it. No, you don't associate with the body, and you are not the doer and you are not the enjoyer of it. You are just a witness, he says. Chidruposi. You are the eternal one, Chid, forever, aware. Why? Because you have come here several times in different bodies. That is the concept. And Sada Sakshi. You are forever the witness of all that happens through your body. As if you are watching your own body do its things. And that is why you are nirapekshaha, you are free of all desires, because you know this is not your body, not this body is yours. So what is the point in getting too attached to it? It will go away one day. So why should we invest in it so much that one day we will find it so difficult to get rid of it? Because we get so attached. So he says, treat it only as a rented vehicle or rented instrument which you have to return. And sukham chara, thereby be happy. Go about doing what you have got to do happily, because body is not the end. One clear indicator of one's spiritual progress is how much you have overcome the fear of your own death. If you don't have fear of death, you have really gained a lot of spirituality. Now, soldiers are also not afraid of death. They also go and do things. And now I see this new generation who make Instagram reels. What kind of stunts they do to just get a reel. And people die in the process. Hanging from a bridge, jumping from a cliff, just to make reels which will go into the internet and become viral, and they can earn followerships and money. How many crazy things people do in the name. So they are also not afraid of death in a way. But are they spiritual is the question. No. They are not afraid of death because foolish people are also not afraid of death. Adventurous, misadventurous people are also not afraid of death because they are fools. But a jnani is not afraid of death because he knows the truth behind it. Soldier is not afraid of that because of the passion, the rajas, or whatever the patriotism that he has to kill the enemy. Some adventurous people are not afraid of that. They climb up Mount Everest and they swim through English Channel and God knows what all, because they are desirous of name, fame, or achievements. So they have overcome the fear of death. Or warriors or soldiers and things like that. But the jnani is also not afraid of death because he knows the truth that death is not the end and birth is not the beginning. Life goes on. You are a flow. And these are pit stops. They come and go like stations come and go in a journey of the train. But you continue to travel as this self. So that is why jnani is not afraid of death. So you have to, if you want to really check whether you are getting anywhere close to jnana, ask yourself, are you afraid of death? Not only your death, anybody's death around you. Because if your beloved ones die, you also die along with it. Because it's so much of attachment. In any ways, you should not be afraid of anybody's death. Afraid or attached. You should not be. Once you are not, you know that you have attained some jnana at least in life to begin with. So that is the idea. So first, this shloka, what he says, you are not the body, body is also not yours. Just get over this attachment to the body and be free. Be a witness to all that happens to this body and be free. Next shloka, what does he do? In the next shloka, he says, in this shloka, he has removed the idea of body. In the next shloka, he removes the idea of mind also. The next thing is mind. Okay, I am not the body, but all the thoughts and emotions and that I go through, is that not me? This identity that I have, that I am a teacher, lecturer, whatever, businessman, woman, man, whatever. So he says in 15.5 shloka, Raga dvesho mano dharmo na manaste kadachana nirvikalpo si bodhatma nirvikaraha sukham chara. Raga dvesha, this attraction and aversion. These are the two things that drive us. We are running towards things or we are running away from things. This is all we do all our lives. What we like, we run towards it. What we don't like, we run away from it. So raga is attachment, dvesha is hatred or aversion. So attachments and aversions or attractions and aversions are the only ways that we know how to live this life. Either whole day we are spending trying to get what we like or trying to avoid what we don't like. Sukha prapti, dukha nivrutti. Trying to attain happiness and trying to avoid sorrows. This is all that we do whole life. If you really boil it down to what is this central purpose of what we do, it is this. We love something, we want it. We don't like something, we avoid it. That's all we do. So raga dvesha is manodharmo. It is the nature of the mind. Dharma here means the nature. Nature of what? Your mind. Mind is attracted by certain things and mind is repelled by other things. It is the nature of the mind to avoid sorrow and to attain happiness. That is the basic nature. Don't pay too much of attention, he says, basically. It is the nature of the mind. Don't give too much of attention to it. Na manaste kadachana. You are not the mind ever. Not at all. You are not at all the mind. Because mind keeps changing and by definition self is changeless. Body keeps changing and by definition body is changeless. Vikara should not happen. Vikara means modifications or changes should not happen in the self. Before, during and after everything, self remains the same. That is the basic definition of self. So he says, yes, you have overcome the idea of body, but have you overcome the idea of mind and the emotions and the thoughts that you harbor? Have you overcome that also? He said, now you overcome that as well, because mana is also not you. The bundle of thoughts that are always bothering you are not you. They are other than you. As I said, the basic definition, if you can know something as outside you, if you can watch something other than you, then you are not that simple as that. If you can watch your thoughts, then you are not the thoughts. If you can see the book, then book is not me. If I can watch my thoughts, then that is not me. So that is why he says you are not the mind also, because you can observe it. You can watch it as something outside you. You can watch your thoughts. You can analyze your thoughts. You can observe your thoughts. It means you are the observer and thoughts are the observed ones. Therefore, you are not the thoughts, you are not the mind. As simple as that, the logic of it. So he says, nirvikalposi. Vikalpa is the nature of mind, thinking. Choice, making choices, making decisions is the nature of the mind. But you are nirvikalpa. There is nothing arises in you, nothing dies in you. You are ever steady because you are witness consciousness. The electricity is the conscious witness to the bulbs. Bulbs can be blue and therefore blue light will come, red light will come, yellow light will come. But electricity has no color. These bulbs are causing all that confusion. So if the awareness filters through the mind, which is full of thoughts and vasanas and desires, and starts behaving in a nice way or bad way, don't associate yourself with that. Associate yourself with the witness which is nirvikaraha or nirvikalpaha. Nirvikalpa means no thoughts and no choices. And nirvikara, the next word he uses is bodhatma nirvikaraha. Your true nature is changeless, without any modifications. Therefore, bodha atma, know that as yourself. And then, sukham chara, be happy. Oh, today I got so angry, I was upset. Okay, at that moment your mind got angry. You did not get angry, that is how you have to look at it. Your mind got influenced by certain circumstances, it behaved in a certain way. But you as the self was always changeless. But at that point of time, your focus shifted to the mind. You identified yourself with the mind and not with the self. That's why these jnanis, their anger is also fake, their attachment is also fake. They don't really have anger on anybody, nor they have attachment to everybody. But as ajnanis, we expect all this emotional behavior. Why are you not loving me? Why are you not caring for me? Why you are not paying attention? How will a jnani pay when he doesn't see the difference? How do you expect jnani to be nice to somebody and nicer to somebody else? Not possible. See, that is why I said, between the previous mission and this will be a big difference you will see. These personal attentions, these favoritisms, these special treatments, all these are disappearing. Slowly you can see it here. Even in the last 10 years, how you were treated versus now how you are being treated, it is two different ways. I can feel the difference. I don't know whether you feel it or not. I'll be nice to everyone, but not overtly nice to anyone. Not overtly not nice to anyone. All will have their own place and all will have their own needs that will be met. But there is no personalized, customized thing. So this is something that is bothering a few people. They say, earlier we had a personal bond and relation with Bhagwan. With you we don't feel the same. I told that means I am succeeding in what I am trying to do. It means I am doing the right thing because that is what exactly I am trying to do. I don't want you to have any personal bonds and attachments with me. I want you to have this neutral, unattached, objective, equal-minded relation. That's all. Sadguru is meant to do that. Children may say, but you are like a father to me. Yes, that is your emotion. I will respond to it because they are still growing, you see. They need some connection, some kind of a relationship with which they can identify themselves with. But for those who are growing up, that's not going to be the way. Oh, that sounds very heartless and cold, and that sounds very, dull and drab. I said, that is your problem. That is not my problem. Because you have expectations, you are suffering. I am not having such expectations that you be worldly nice to me, dance around me all day long. No, I don't expect any of these things. I expect you to follow the teachings. That's all is my joy. So what will happen over a period of time, you will realize this, that personal, customized, intimate and individualized relationships will disappear from this mission. And that is what I say, that is the next phase. You see that big change, a shift after this 100th birthday. Because everything has to be neutral, everything has to be objective, everything has to be at the spiritual level. Yes, you will have respect, you will have love, you will have affection and adoration from that point of view, that there is a guru and he is guiding us, we must respect that. But does he know me personally? Will he answer my personal problems and calls? May not be. May not be. So suddenly don't get a shock. I am preparing your mind before itself. Already, as I said, once the mission shifted gears in 2022 from what it was to what it is today, and suddenly the Sri Madhusudan Sai mission came, half of the people left saying, oh, no, this is not what we signed up for. If it is Sri Sathya Sai mission, we are still going to be a part of it. But who is this Sri Madhusudan Sai? We are not working for him. So a lot of people left. All of a sudden, resignation started dropping into my email box and WhatsApps. And I was stunned. I said, what happened suddenly? Because I didn't expect that. I expected some nice, good people also, we would like to be closer to Sathya Sai. We were always devotees of Sathya Sai. We came here because Sathya Sai was here. Like that they started. Then I understood their moha is not gone and they will not be over. If they are right in their own way, I have no problem with that. But this, as I said, is going to the next level. So that will happen again. You will say, oh, even till yesterday he was so nice to me, he knew my name, he knew how many people are there in my family, what happened, what did not happen. And today he seems to be knowing nothing about me. He's as if forgotten me. That you will feel. And then you will feel uncomfortable. What has happened? But this is how it will happen. So all those who are lingering around for personal attention and customized relationships, beware. That's all I can say. And who is going to be the loser, everybody knows. So this is how it will be. So I am warning you before itself that this mission is going to the next phase. Next phase is totally on the complete idea of the objectivity of the relationship between a guru and a disciple. It is no more my personalized relationships. That may not be valid anymore. Times will change. So develop that sense that this raga dvesha, I love this guru, I hate that guru. That is all in your mind. You are never the mind in the first place. The relationship that you had with any guru, Bhagwan or God, that was at the mind level only. At the spirit level, at the soul level, there was nothing called this relation and that relation. So, yes, it was necessary at that point in time. As I said, you are growing. Your physical proximity was necessary, mental relationship was necessary, means emotional bonding was necessary for you to progress. But at the end, all this is going to go. Only at the level of the spirit, at the level of the soul, there will be a relation. It doesn't mean that we don't talk, we don't meet, we don't discuss anything. No, what is needed to be done will be done still, as per the divine design. But beyond that, expecting personalized thing will not happen. And that already bothers some of our university students. Because those especially early batches, they were used to a lot of personalized attention. Because there were only a handful of them. And they always got whatever they wanted. They could just walk in, say things, get what they want. And they got a lot of attention in personal. That was the way then. Now it is no more. Whether that batch or the recent batch, nobody gets that kind of a personalized, customized attention. So they have developed this feeling that, we have lost the connection. That is all in your mind. Raga Devesha it is. It is not my problem. Our Jairam keeps coming and telling me, Swami, you should spend time with the university people. They are seemingly getting lost and confused. They were used to a certain way. Now that is no more the way. The relationship will dry up. He keeps bothering me, this Jairam. I tell Jairam, they have to evolve. I cannot devolve. They have to evolve. 10 years of lot of personal attention, the guidance, and everything at the personal level has been given. By the time, that they should have used as a ladder to climb up and reach a state where they can understand at the level of the self. They don't need that pat on the back every single time. They should not. Develop that thing. That was a very sweet and nice relationship, I said, yes, but that time is over. Those who are still trying to live that life, they will be, as I said, living in some euphoria. That won't be the way forward. This Raga Dvesha is not going to work. And all the relationship that we had was Raga Dvesha based relationship only. That is not going to work. Mind, either it was Deha based relationship that I am close in first row, under the nose, I am far, that all, or he likes me, he knows my name, he knows my family, he always calls and talks to me, and all that is also going to go. Then what is the next stage? Next stage is this Nirvikaraha, Nirvikalpaha, Bodhatma, Sukham Chara. Be happy that you are a part of this mission. Anywhere near also this mission is a great blessing. Whatever I know, I can tell that. Anywhere you are in the vicinity of this mission also, you are very, very lucky. And if you can benefit from it by your own efforts, by developing this steady state of equanimity, and not bothered by attentions and aversions and attractions and repulsions, then only you are going to be a part of this mission, because it is like a rocket launch. I keep saying, the rocket keeps going up in the sky, and part by part things fall, don't they? When the rocket goes to a certain altitude, one part of it falls away, which had given it the thrust necessary. Then it goes further up, some more parts fall away. Why? Because they are not necessary. And then you go up, the last part also falls away, and the satellite, which the purpose of rocket is to place the satellite in its orbit, that is achieved, and everything else falls away. Like that, the mission will keep getting steeper and steeper, and if you are not steady in your spirituality, you will fall away. You will not be able to hang around there for too long. And I have seen that in earlier times also. People, as long as they got a lot of attention from Bhagwan, they were so devoted, dedicated, committed, and loyal. The moment his attention shifted, they were not getting the same amount of attention, they slowly fizzled out, because they did not find that attraction anymore, because they were not getting all that personalized attention. But all that relationship, it is the mind level only, at the mind level only. So this text should help us grow into people who can grow beyond these modifications of mind, of attractions and aversions, of vikaras, modifications, and different types of changes. All this should disappear. There should be a steady flow of that connection between the guru and the disciple, which is at the level of the self. Nothing less than that. Less than that will trouble you, because your expectations will grow, and then accordingly your sadness will come and anger will come. So that is the idea. Sukham Chara, if you want to be happy in this mission or anywhere in life, develop this equanimity, develop this steady state of your relationship with your Guru or God, without expectations, without desires. And yes, once in a while, Guru or God may show some extra affection and grace. That is as per the divine design. We don't expect that from our side. We don't expect that. When I was sitting on the other side and during this evening programs and all, one of the programs was going on. I was sitting on the other side and watching the program, and I looked around just like that. I saw all the students sitting. And I remembered the only desire I had was one place in the corner of Prashanti Nilayam, where I can sit in the hall and just watch from a distance everything is going on, and one small room somewhere where I could stay peacefully and serve on a daily basis, come for darshan. More than that, I did not desire at all. I did not desire I should be inside his room and under his bed, nothing. Others had those desires, very strong. You have to give me chance to serve you in your room. I was not, I told whatever way you give me. Like Mira Bai says, Chakra rakho ji, Prabhuji mane, Chakra rakho ji, Chakra rahasu, Bag lagasu, Mituta darshan pasu. Brindavan ki kunj galin mein Govind Leela gasu, Prabhuji mane, Chakra rakho ji, she says. Keep me as your servant, O Lord. I don't need to be your queen. Just keep me like a servant. I know I don't deserve to be your queen like Radha or Rukmini or whoever. I am happy to be your servant, Mira Bai says. Let me be in Vrindavan somewhere in corner. What will I do? Chakra rahesu, bag lagasu. I will tend your gardens, tend to your garden. Because you like gardens, you like flowers, you come out every day, walk in the garden. I will take care of your gardens. And then, Mitut darshana pasu. Why I am doing that? Because once in a while when you come to the garden and you will walk around, I can see you from a distance. And my satisfaction is that. I do not want you to keep me in your palace. Let me be a servant looking after your garden, so that when you come for a walk, casually with your queens and with your loved ones, I will see you from a distance and I will be happy. Mituta darshan pasu, Brindavan ki kunja galin mein. In those narrow lanes of Brindavan, where Krishna lives, Govinda Leela gasu. I will sing your glory. I am not expecting you to place me next to you, make me sit or stand next to you. Just let me be somewhere in the vicinity, somewhere in a corner. Quietly I will do what I have got to do. I won't trouble you. I won't ask anything from you. I don't even want to ask you for your darshan. Forget about sparshan sambhashan. I am satisfied. Let me be in a corner, doing some little seva. And in that seva, I will be able to once in a while have your darshan. Good enough for me. I do not demand more than that. That is what Mirabai says to Krishna. So that was my attitude. And I was sitting here and I was thinking, look at these children and their fortune. What I could not get. So much I desired for it, so much I craved and pined for it, that let me be sitting in a corner as your staff or a student. That's it. All I want is that. Let me come, enjoy that peaceful darshan and go back to wherever my room and serve in the institute. Wherever you give me little work to do, I will serve from that corner. Enjoy these wonderful programs, your darshan every day. What more do I ask for? Even that he did not give. Because man proposes, God disposes. My life was designed differently. But if I was in a position to trade my place with yours now, I would happily do it. If I can be a student sitting in a corner, just enjoying a little darshan from a distance, and then doing my bit for the mission, and once in a while I am able to get your darshan and maybe a little talk here and there. I don't ask for anything more than that. That should be the attitude of devotees and disciples. Not I am doing so much, why am I not in the first row? I am doing so much, why you have not spoken to me? Why you did not take me to Kodaikanal? Why you did not take me to trip abroad this year? Why you did not do that? This is not the way. Those days are over. Those days are over. That won't happen. And the next batch may say, how unfortunate, had we joined 10 years back, we would have got all that. Maybe. But even those who joined 10 years back are not going to get that now. It's over. Your batch has to be even more mature to understand this and deal with it. You won't get, I am not here just for this. The whole world is going to come. Everybody needs that attention, this mission is for the whole world, right? Vishwa Shanti. So it is going to next level. It means the rocket is going higher. And those who don't fit will fall. So as they say, shape up or ship out, they say in management. Either shape up or ship out. Means change yourself to suit the need, or be done and be away. So the attitude, true attitude of people in this ashram or anywhere should be like that Mirabai. I do not want to be your queen. I do not want to be your pranasakha next to you as your favorite disciple or most important servant. No, somewhere in your gardens, let me be there. I'll tend to those flowers. And whenever you come, I'll have a darshan from far and I'm satisfied. I don't expect more than that. And I will sing your glory happily without demanding anything from you. What a beautiful thought. So raga dvesha should not develop even with God. Because these Rakshasas are like that, raga dvesha Rakshasas. Hiranyakashipu, he hated Hari. He loved Hara, means he wanted Shiva because Shiva gave him the boon. And he hated Narayana because Narayana killed his brother, who was misusing the boon in the first place. So these are Rakshasa Pravritti. Raga Dvesha is in the mind and it is not the devotee's way of life. Devotee's way of life is equanimity, samatha. And so become like that and be free, he says. See freedom and be sukhi, be happy and free. It's extremely important. Otherwise this devotion itself can become your bondage. Not only you will bind yourself in it, you will bind the God also and make him also feel miserable. Don't do that. Leave any relationship that does not have freedom, it does not last. Don't make God feel bound by your expectations. Aisa mere liye, waisa mere liye kyun karna? God will get uncomfortable saying this is always a very demanding devotee. As long as demands are met, he is a devotee. The demands are not met, they lose devotion. The God feels uncomfortable, God feels imprisoned. That should not do. In any relationship, nobody should feel imprisoned. Relationship should have that dignity, respect and freedom in it. Only then relationships thrive. Otherwise they die. So remember that with God also. If you put too many expectations on God, that relationship also will get destroyed. But don't do that. Live without expectations and desires. As I said, even if you have a quiet corner in this hall or in this mission, consider yourselves very, very fortunate. And don't have to ask for anything more than that. When the time is right, anyway it will be given to you. Aduga kavevo manasa, adugu koladi adi aduguna padanani, aduga kane pani vadi vadi yagunani, adugani shabarini adarinchade, kataku sadgatini kalaginchade. Will he not give moksha to Shabari who waited forever without demanding anything? Don't ask, oh mind, don't ask. Because when you ask, things don't happen. When you don't ask, things happen. Develop that attitude is what Bhagavan used to sing as a poem. So remember that and don't develop this mind relationship with God, where raga dvesha happens. Develop this steady, equanimous devotion where you are only flowing like a river towards the ocean. There is no other way in this devotion. So think like that. Next shloka is 15.6, which says, further enhances the idea that who are you then? You are not the body, body is also not yours. You are not the mind, mind is also not yours. You are a Sakshi Bhuta, he told light. But what kind of Sakshi? Is it only existing in you or is it existing in everyone? Is it the same Sakshi Bhuta or multiple Sakshi Bhutas in all the beings? Is the same current flowing through all the bulbs or different types of currents in different bulbs? For that the answer comes in the 15.6 shloka. He says, Sarva Bhuteshu Chatmanam, Sarva Bhutani Chatmani, Vijnaya Nirahankaro Nirmamastvam Sukhi Bhava. The next two problems for us is Ahankara, Mamakara. Ahankara is the sense of I and Mamakara is the sense of mine. I and mine. So Nirahankara Nirmama Bhava, he says. Become free of this ego and attachment. I and mine. How? By knowing this truth. What is the truth? Sarva Bhuteshu Chatmanam, Sarva Bhutani Chatmani. That same self is there in all the beings. And all the beings exist in the same self. All the waves are in the same ocean. And the same ocean is there in all the waves. They look different, but they are not different. All bulbs are electrified by the same electricity. And the same electricity exists in all the bulbs. Same Atman, same self, same Brahman permeates everything and everyone. And everyone is existing in that Brahman only. There is nothing other than Brahman. Sarva Bhuteshu Chatmani. In all the beings, that Atma is there. In Sarva Bhutani Chatmani. Chatmanam and Chatmani means they are there in the self and self is there in them. There is nothing else. Now if I show you, as I said the other day, Henry Ford came up with his Ford T model cars. And he says, you can choose any color as long as it is black. It means you have no choice. There is only one color available, which is black. Likewise, there is only one thing available in this world, which is Brahman. We think of it is in different ways, but what exists is actually only one self. It's not even that myself and yourself. No, one Atma only, Ek Atma, Sarva Bhutantar Atma it is there. The one self only, like one electricity is running through all the bulbs. It is the same gold which is in all the ornaments. Like that, there is the same self which is in all of us. Whether we are man, woman, rich, poor, young, old, intelligent, dull, in everyone it is the same self which is there. So where is the question of attachment and ego? What should you get egoistic about? They are also same, you are also same. Externally you are rich, they are poor. But fundamentally, one and the same. So how can you say this is better than that? Likewise, how can you develop attachment to this and aversion to that? Because if you carefully observe, everything is same. So that is the idea, that once you know that self is in all, why you should have attachment and ego? Ego that I am superior or inferior, both are egos of some kind. And attachment, this is better and that is not good, so I want this, I don't want that. Where is that going to come from when you don't see differences at all? Panditaha Samadarshina, he says, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne, Brahmane, Gavi Hastini, Shunischaiva Swapake cha, Panditaha Samadarshinaha, says our Bhagavad Gita. The Pandita, the real knower, sees the sameness in everything. Equalness. What is that equalness? He says, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne. He is knowledgeable and humble. Why? Because he sees everything as the self. Where is the question of ego? Nothing is bigger, nothing is smaller. Everything is same. So where is the question of ego? So what is this? Brahmani. In the Brahmins, supposedly the intelligent ones, the higher caste ones and all that. And Gavi, in cows. And Hastini, in elephant. It means in all beings. Shunischaiva Shvapakecha. Shuni means dog, and Shvapake means those who eat dogs. Means very lowly people who only have dog for their food. Otherwise they'll eat better things. Even in such people who seem to be living a very very wretched kind of lives, even in them he sees the sameness. Panditaha Samadarshinaha. He sees equality in also. He cannot praise somebody and blame somebody, or he cannot get attached to somebody and get averted because of somebody else. No. All of them he treats and experiences as the same self. That vision, equal-mindedness, Samadarshinaha, that is the idea of the true knowledgeable person, the Panditaha. Those Ajnanis, they will see things differently. They will see something is better and other thing is not better. It seems there is a story. Now take it as a story and not at the face of it. Adi Shankaracharya was there, he went to Kashi as part of his pilgrims. And then pilgrimages, and he went with some of his disciples. So when he was passing, he was a high caste born, Brahmin and Jnani, and his disciples were there, like my disciples are there, they keep pushing the crowd this way, that way, to make way, without bothering about who is there, whether old man, young man, they are so lost in pushing the crowds. Sometimes I would tell, stop this, look at what you are doing. But in their excitement. So in their excitement, these disciples saw that one Chandala was there. If you go to Kashi, there is a ghat called Manikarnika Ghat. It is the ghat means the banks of the river Ganges. Right outside the Kashi Vishwanath temple, if you go out, you will see that is the place on the banks where all the dead bodies are being burnt. It is like, in a way, Shmashana, or the burial. We don't bury, so naturally we burn all the bodies in India, Hindu customs. So there you will see, just to step out of the Kashi temple on the Ganges side of it, and you will see right on the left. On the left side you will see many bodies burning, corpses burning. And that is a tradition, that is a ritual and custom. There is nothing called, how can you burn something next to a temple and all. No, everything is Shiva. In Shava also there is Shiva only. That is the idea with which they do. So when you go there, you will see a lot of these Chandalas. Chandalas in those days were those who were involved in cremating these bodies, you see. They were not people of some high upper class of the society. They were basic lower, so to say, caste people who were involved in such, in a way, not such sacred acts. Because burning a dead body is not something great. That is given to those people who have no knowledge, no other abilities and skills. So one Chandala, who was this kind of a person, happens to be walking that way. And these disciples get very excited. They say, move, 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 because Adi Shankaracharya is coming. And what does Chandala know about who is he? He went about doing, because that was his job on that ghat. So they tell him, just move away, make way for Adi Shankara. Then Chandala says, whom are you asking to move? This body, which is Chandala, means which is a lower caste or lowly birth wala body. But I am not the body. So how does it matter? And if you are asking the self to move, but then self is everywhere in you, me, in everything, where it will move and go to? And that opens the eyes of the disciples and Adi Shankaracharya. That it was Shiva himself who came to teach that idea of broad-mindedness to the Adi Shankaras, more than Adi Shankara, to his disciples. That while we preach great texts, do we really practice them? Cheppinatlu chestara? Do you say everything is Advaita, everything is divine, but do you treat everybody with the same respect? I understand, it doesn't mean you go and hug every Chandala and say you and I are one, not required. But respect should be there in the heart, right? You can't treat them as lowly people. So that was the idea. When he says, you see everybody as you. Where is the question of you preferring something or you avoiding something? Yes, physically it does not mean, don't take it as I said in the Lakir ke Fakir they say in our Hindi. It means they're rule sticklers to the rules. They don't understand the essence behind the rules. Now it doesn't mean that Chandala will go inside the temple and start doing worships saying that anyway I and Shiva are one and the same. No, there are rules. You are also human being and the surgeon is also human being, but surgeon is trained to do surgery, so he is inside the operation theatre. You are not supposed to enter there. Does it mean we are discriminating between you and him? Not really. This is what you know, this is what they know. There are roles to be met. The other day also I was telling somebody had come, they had built a large temple. But they are not from those upper class or whatever in our society. I was telling, see, while I run Veda Pathshalas, while we learn also medical schools, colleges, everything, there are certain disciplines that we observe. Veda Pathshala must come with a certain qualifications. Those should have the aptitude for things. They should have. Now in NEET exam you can do and check the aptitude for medical studies. What is the aptitude test for the Vedic studies? The fellow should have some interest, passion and ability to understand and practice, right? So we check all those things. Based on that, certain people are giving admission in the Veda Pathshalas. But Veda has not been denied to anybody. Everybody learns Vedas. Everybody does homas, rituals. But inside the Shiva temple, can I allow everybody to just walk in and start doing as they please? No. That's a sacred space that comes with its own discipline. There is a qualification. You must study for 12 years, certain rituals, Agama Shastra. All that if you do, then you are qualified to enter the Garbha Griha and do certain type of rituals. So this is given to some people. Just like a surgeon is supposed to go into the OT and do the surgery, not every other person can walk in. Likewise, in a temple's Garbha Griha, there are certain people who have been taught and qualified to do that job properly. They go and do. Otherwise, in your home, you can also do any worship. Who stops you? But there are certain disciplines. Does it mean we are discriminating? No. That thinking will be very wrong. Some people are there, as I said, they're lakir ke fakir, and they'll start comparing without understanding its complete essence. They'll look at it at the surface and then start comparing. Oh, you say there is no discrimination. All are same, all are equal, Pandita, Samadarshina, but you don't allow people inside the Garbhagudi and do pujas. I told I will not, because that is not how it should be. I am equal to you also. I treat you also with the same respect. But there are certain disciplines that have to be followed. Like you need to know driving to drive a car. If you don't know how to drive a car, should I give you a car key and say, I don't want to discriminate between you and another fellow. You also take car and drive and kill yourself and 10 others. There are rules for everything. Those rules are important to maintain some kind of discipline and harmony in the society. Otherwise, societies will become chaotic. So Brahmanas were given a rule. You focus on intelligence, you focus on education, you focus on disseminating knowledge, you focus on rituals and worships, because that is your aptitude. The Kshatriyas were given the aptitude, you go fight the battles, govern the kingdom, protect your people, provide for them. The tradesmen, the Vaishyas were given jobs. Your aptitude is that you are interested in money and business and you have that business mind, that sense. So you do that and create revenue for the kingdom so that it can be given to everybody through the king and the governors. And then you had the labor class, can't study 1 hour if they sit in the class, they are in Nidrasana. then give them some work to do. They have so much of fear that they can't even fight a mouse, forget about fighting an enemy on the outskirts. And the governance absolutely indisciplined and unorganized. You can't get a thing done by them. They keep messing it up because they don't have that ability. We do know IQ tests and EQ tests and all that. They fail in all this. So what do we do with them? Just throw them? No. They also can do something. They can labor, they can work hard, their bodies are strong. So some job is given. So everybody was classified like that, not out of some hatred for some or love for somebody. It was a part of, Bhagavan Krishna himself says, I have classified people in various categories. Why? Because of their aptitude. Chaturvarnyam maya srishtam. Gunakarma vibhagashaha. I have classified them in 4 categories based on their aptitudes. Now some of you are studying sports or part of the physical education and sports. Some of you are doing medicine. You mean to say I have discriminated? You should have been, all should be studying medicine because it's a glorified thing. What is this sports and skill development? No, that is what you are capable of. Can a sports guy do medicine, you tell me? Should have the IQ for that, right? Does it mean the institution is discriminating? No. Medicine is also provided freely, medical education, so also sports education, so also Vedic education, so also skill building or whatever programs we have. No discrimination there. But your aptitude does not permit you to become a doctor. What can I do? Your aptitudes, your IQ, your abilities only help you to be a good sports person. Do a good job of it. So there is no discrimination in God's eyes. When we say samam sarveshu bhuteshu, all beings are treated to be treated equal. I am equal to all beings. Name dveshosti na priyaha, Krishna says, I have no favorites and no non-favorites. All are mine. I treat all of them with equalness. But each has their different aptitudes because of which they should do different things. And that is the best for them and for the society because they will contribute well. But there is no discrimination from my side, says God. Same thing for a jnani, there is no discrimination. You are a girl or a boy or a rich man's child or a poor man's child. You are studying medicine or you are studying music. Doesn't matter. That is your aptitude, you study that. But are the opportunities not being provided equally? Of course it is being provided equally. What is needed for medical education? That infrastructure, facility, faculty is provided for that. What is needed for music training? That facility, faculty, whatever is required, provided for that. You need a sports ground, you need sports equipment, that is provided to you. You need to learn Vedas and Vedic studies, those teachers and classes are provided to you. There is no discrimination. So Jnani lives like that, don't stretch it too far and saying that, no, at every level there should not be any discrimination, everybody should be paid equally, everybody should dress equally, everybody should, it's not so. That is not equality, that is all surface level equality. That is why this feminism and all, sometimes they stretch it too far in the name of equality. But can we be ever totally be equal? Opportunities make it equalital. If girl needs that opportunity and has the ability to use it, should be provided. Just because she's a girl is not provided, that is inequality. But what she does with it is her job or her choice. She's capable, she'll do well. If she's not capable, she won't. But just because you're differently born, you cannot discriminate. But now if the girl develops well, becomes a good doctor, she gets some type of work to do, she gets paid accordingly. Another girl becomes a teacher, she gets to do some kind of work, she gets paid accordingly. Another boy becomes a musician, he does his job, gets paid accordingly. Now paid scales will be different because your jobs are different, your abilities are different, your work is different. No, does that mean discrimination is the question? Now you go again and start fighting for the no. If a woman is a CEO of a company of certain size, a man is a CEO of a company of certain size, both should be paid equally. That is not going to be a right to discriminate there. But if a woman is a manager and the CEO is a man somewhere, naturally they'll be paid differently. One day the woman becomes CEO, she'll also be paid same. So this surface level equality is never possible. Rose is different from a lotus, is different from a marigold, is different from a jasmine, is different from chrysanthemum. All are part of the garden. Like that ignorant people, these pseudo-gyanis, they catch hold of these external things and start making noise about it without realizing the depth of things. So when you see differences in the society, Krishna says, I have classified people, they have been given their jobs accordingly. Simply people will start jumping up and down, the castes and all that. This is caste, that is caste. And of course there are selfish people who have used it for political reasons and divided people and benefited themselves. That has happened because of very poor understanding of what is equality, what is justice, what is fairness. It's very, very wrong understanding of things. But a jnani, a true man of wisdom, would understand the essence of it. Even if a worker comes, they will treat them with the same respect. Even if a doctor comes, they'll treat them with the same respect. Even if the teacher comes, they'll treat them with the same respect. They won't differentiate and discriminate there. But work-wise, yes, you have to wear worker's dress, you have to wear a doctor's apron, you have to wear a teacher's costume. That's it. And you have to do your job. So that is the idea, that we do not discriminate, and just because spirituality says all are equal does not mean that you can treat everybody equally on the outside. They have to be treated according to whatever professions and actions they are engaged in. Tomorrow a criminal commits a murder. You tell, don't punish him. Why? Because he is also self, he is also divine. But the one who died also is divine only. No? So what is the way to deal with things? No, deal with what is the action done. Action will have a reaction. Do the right reaction for that. That's it. But do you hate the criminal and do you love this? Don't develop that kind of. Inside should not be affected. Outside, whatever needs to be done, needs to be done. That kind of equal-mindedness, who develops? A jnani develops. So what does he say to Janaka? Janaka, remember, in all the beings, it is the same self, and in the same self, all the beings exist. Like all the waves are in the ocean, and ocean is in the waves. There is no difference, so it appears to be different on the outside. So knowing this, become free from all ego and identity, wrong identification, and nirmamaha, free from all attachments, and become happy. Become happy, because all are same. They are all sweets made of the same sugar, or candies made of the same sugar. One is red, one is green, yellow, blue. That is just to attract the children. They put colors. You have seen those? I don't know nowadays they sell or not, but when we were small, they used to sell these ice candies, you know. Usko kya barf ka gola bolte the. Basically, there's just plain ice, nothing else. But children will go to that vendor, street vendor who will come. And that time we didn't think whether this was all, mineral water or tap water or what water it was. How was the ice made? Nobody cared. That's how we had such good immunity. Today's children, little one rain happens, all are sick. Too much of protectionism. That time we ate from anything, So this ice gola wala will come and he'll ring a bell. So everybody knows, all kids will be, especially during summer holidays, He's very clever. He will come correct in the late afternoon where children are just waking up from their naps and then they're looking for some excitement. He'll come exactly at that time. Ring the bell, it is quite hot, so everybody will rush to the vendor and circle him and ask for, mujhe yellow wala do, mujhe red wala do, mujhe green wala do. I want the red one, I want the green one, yellow one, I want the purple one. And this fellow will happily be scooping out that ice and the cones, and then he'll be putting only the color. The color is a sugar syrup with some color in it, green, yellow, blue. And you put. Some people say, no, I want 3 colors, mix this, mix that kind of. So people will have different colors. And he will charge everybody the same nevertheless, because for him it is no different cost. Green doesn't cost him more than yellow or red or blue. So he'll make for all the kids. The kids are happy and they start priding themselves. I got the yellow one, you got this orange one, you got the green one. Let it be. That's childish, right? That prattle is childish prattle and comparisons. For the ice vendor, it is the same ice, same sugar. Some colors, essence what he has put is different. That's about it. But that does not make any difference to the ice vendor. That gola wala, usko farak nahi padta hai. Usko iska bhi 4 aane, uske bhi 4 aane. He gets the same quarter of a rupee for this, quarter of a rupee for that. He's happy with that. He goes home, selling all the ice. But we start comparing and then fighting. And then, somebody says, you didn't get yellow one. No, then start crying. Next time I will get a yellow one. This is what the Jnani's ways are. They look at the outside and start comparing and crying and getting attached and getting angry. But the Jnani is the vendor, who is very clever. He uses all these people's stupidity and sells his ice, which is worth nothing actually. What is the worth of the ice, you tell me? Plain crushed ice. And that color's essence, that's about it. But he happily uses the foolishness of all these kids and sells it nicely and goes. Like that, the Jnani sees through this falsity of the samsara I am intelligent, he is dull. I am rich, he is poor. I am successful, he is a loser. I am man, she is a woman. I am beautiful, he is ugly. I am very handsome, he is bad looking. All these we have collected in our head like the colors of that ice ka gola. But God, who is delivered us all into this world, he does not see the difference. That's why he is able to accept everybody. Samadarshinaha. He is able to see everything. The other day I was telling how Vivekananda was angry with a courtesan who was dancing in the king's court to entertain him. And he got up and started walking, and she said, please don't do this to me. You are supposed to be a jnani. You should not see me differently. Like the the philosopher's stone knows no difference between the iron that is kept in the altar of God versus the iron that is at the feet of a prisoner, the cuffs which bind him. In both, there is iron only. And when a philosopher's stone touches it, it turns both of them into gold. Like that you should have equal-mindedness. You should not differentiate. So he is telling Janaka, beyond body and mind, when you realize that you are the self, then that self is capable of seeing everything as the same, as equal. And so this discrimination and differences don't arise. Samatha happens, equanimity happens, equality happens, equal-mindedness happens. That is the job of a guru to teach, Sadguru to teach. Samatha nerpunne vade. So he is the one who teaches samatha. This is how you teach samatha. So how nicely he has told, body is not you, you are not the body. Body doesn't belong to you also. Mind also is not you. Raga Dvesha is not your nature. You are nirvikara, nirvikalpa. And you are the self. And what kind of self? Before you start thinking, I am the only God, I am the only self. No, all are same. There also you cannot discriminate. You may be living a life of renunciate or a monk. They may be grahasthas and those others may be brahmacharis. All of them are divine only. Can you develop this vision? If you develop this vision, what do you gain out of it? Sukhi bhava. You become joyful, you become happy. You do not have any problem. You do not have any issues. Another shloka is quoted here from Ishavasya Upanishad, which says, Yastu sarvani bhutani atmanyeva anupashyati sarva bhuteshu cha atmanam tatona vijugupsate. Vijugupsa means some kind of aversion, some kind of disgust, some kind of fear, or in a way negativity. One cannot develop such a fear, negativity or whatever negative emotions when he sees everything as the self. Yastu sarvani bhutani atmanyeva anupashyati. Everybody sees as the very self and sees all that self present in all the beings. Such a person cannot develop any negative feelings for anybody. Again, as I say, it does not mean that somebody comes, a worker comes, you put him on the table with the minister who has also come and feed them together on the same table in the name of equality. No, it doesn't work like that. There are certain positions that has to be respected. Many times Bhagavan was questioned, oh, whenever VIPs come, these big ministers come, even though they are corrupt and known for not very nice things, still they straight go into the interview room, they straight go to the portico, and here there are poor people lining up from morning 3 a.m. for his darshan. All they get is one far away glimpse, that's it. Is it not discrimination? Should poor people also not be straight led into the interview room? Or politicians should not be asked to stand in the queue? That is how some people, some people of that foolish attitude of their understanding of equality and equal-mindedness is so very shallow and superficial. They would question. Then Bhagavan would say, I am not respecting the person, I am respecting the profession. I am respecting the profession. A person who is the leader of the public, if he arrives, he is a guest at your home, you have to treat them accordingly. Though you cannot discriminate like that. You also are a person of certain stature in the society, you deserve that respect. Like we go to the airport. Now there are, you have to go to the security and all that queue. But there are others, for them there is no security checks like the high court judges and ministers and something like that. They straight away walk in. That is mean discrimination. The Prime Minister comes, his convoy comes, and then you see all the signals are open, there are no restrictions, all the cars move very fast. Should you call it discrimination or appropriate behavior? It is appropriate for the Prime Minister. His time is precious. He gets only so much time to deal with things. Obviously, he gets a preferential treatment. Does this mean that a Jnani will see Prime Minister as a greater being? And no, Prime Minister's position is a greater position in the society, and we are bound to respect that as citizens of this country. We are also citizens of this country. We have to respect that. Even in our house, let us say guests come. Don't we give them a better food than our own children or our own husbands and wives? When they come, we get a nice new item, some sweets, some juice, some snacks, savories. We give them. Do we give the same thing to our people? No. In fact, every time this will happen, Amma will tell, ये समोसा और गुलाब जामुन तुम लोगों के लिए नहीं है, वो लोग खाने के बाद कुछ बचेगा, तब तुम लोग खाना. She was very clear. These samosas, gulab jamuns are not meant for you kids. This is for the guests who have arrived. Once they finish eating, and if anything is left, then you get to eat. Otherwise, that's it. So we treat our guests differently, don't we? At your home, don't you treat them differently? Or you treat them like your people only? Then you don't know nothing about hospitality and atithya. Likewise, Bhagavan would treat some people in a certain way because they belong to a certain position in the society, and as citizens of this country, we ought to respect that. That does not mean he had more love for these and no love for those poor peasants who came and sat in that corner of the hall. No. But can he go to every single person and show the same love, call everybody? No, not possible. So practically also you should look at how things should happen. Equality should not be thought of in an impractical way. Now also people question the same thing, Rich people get immediately one interview, they get to sit here, get to sit that and this and that. And Bhagavan used to say, I talk to rich people for what sake? To help the poor only, right? I inspire them, so they make donations as sacrifice. With that I provide education, health to you people. So for whose sake am I working? Who is uppermost in my mind? He used to ask. Poor are the uppermost. For their sake only I am inspiring the rich to sacrifice, donate. Same thing happens even now. So people who are of foolish nature, this half knowledge, these unbaked or half-baked spiritualists, they are the ones who are having problems. A Jnani will not have a problem at all. He knows whatever is there, it is right, that is how it should be happening. So he doesn't have any problem, whereas the Ajnanis will have problem with everything. They keep questioning, complaining, criticizing, that is the nature. So again, as I said yesterday, I told people who are trying to be extra nice and bringing gossips to you, and above all telling you, I have brought to some juicy news for you, what people are talking behind your back, send them away from there before they open their mouth and say another word. Show them the door, I said. Other people you should show them the door are these people who constantly criticize. They find fault with everything. Their nature is that, they're eternal pessimists. All the time they'll be criticizing. Why it is like this, why it is not like that, why this is not good. They'll not see anything good here. They'll only find faults with everyone, everything, Such people also should get rid of because they are negative in their nature and they'll make you also negative. So when they start criticizing, they may present it as, for the highest welfare of the mission, for the good of everyone over here, out of my great concern for the growth of this great mission, I want to say a few things. Tell them to shut up then and there. Because if you are really honest, you don't have to give this much of background. You will say things as it is. When you are trying to sugarcoat it too much, this is Durta Lakshanam. These are all people who are very cunning and clever. They're just trying to criticize and they feel good about it. So don't entertain people who gossip and who criticize. They bring negativity. And that negativity is very toxic. It kills all the positivity that you have. One drop of poison falls into a bucket of milk, it makes the whole milk poisonous, right? Don't allow such people and don't be in the company of such gossipers and critics. 15.7, the next shloka is, this we all know because we have heard earlier too. Ashtavakra says, Vishwam spurati yatredam taranga iva sagare tattvam meha nasandeha chinmurte vijwaro bhava. Earlier also we heard similar shloka, Vishwam spurati yatredam taranga iva sagare. The whole world is like the waves that come out of the ocean. Taranga means waves. Sagara means ocean. So Vishwam Spurati, spontaneously it rises. Purati means spontaneity. So this world emerges out of that self like the waves emerge out of ocean. Continuously new things are forming, some things are getting destroyed, new things come into existence, new people are born, some people die. This cycle of continuous movement, Jagat, is a part of this creation, just like Waves keep coming and going in the ocean. On their own, as if on their own, as if it's automated. Nobody is really deciding, okay, wave number 1, now your turn. The wave number 2, after this you. Nobody is saying like that. They just keep coming and going, coming and going. Like that, in this world also, based on their karma and karma prabhava, people are born, they die, they're born in different families, they do different things, they do good things, bad things, they experience good things, bad things. It is a part of that automatic system. By default, it keeps running. Don't give more attention to that. He says that in this whole creation, the world emerges from the self like the waves emerge out of the ocean. So, tattva mehana sandeha. Tattva, tat means that. Tvam, tat tvam eva. You are that. Tat tvam asi, we have heard, right? Shweta Ketu from Chandogya Upanishad. He says, tat tvam eva. You indeed are that self. Chinmurte, there is no doubt about it. Na sandeha. Don't even have a slightest doubt that you are not the self. You are the self, not the body and the mind. Chinmurte, you are eternal because ocean is eternal. Waves are temporary. Like that, your self is eternal. These bodies and mind and all these changes are temporary. So, Vijvaro bhava, become free from the fever, become free from the disease of bhavaroga. That is the idea. This fever means when you are feverish, you are not at peace. Your temperature is high, your digestion is not working, you are not able to sleep, you are restless. So, get rid of this restlessness. Just because the world is moving so fast around you, new things are emerging, old things are dying, so much is happening all around you. Don't get affected by that. And don't get agitated, don't get restless. Because you are the underlying ocean. All the activities on the surface like the waves emerging and dying. So your thoughts are like waves coming out of you. And then they will go. After that another wave will start. That will also disappear. Nothing stays permanent. So even if things are happening inside you, raga, dvesha, all this is happening, don't pay attention. Whatever it is, it will go away. Even if it's the most difficult challenge and challenging thought or emotion that you are right now grappling with, just wait a little more, it will go away. Don't get carried away by that. Just hold on. Just wait. The deepest, most difficult emotion also will pass. Etad api gamishyati, says Krishna. Everything will pass. So just hold on, hang on, and it will go. Because that is the nature of the world. That is the good part. Bad part is the happiness also does not last. Happiness also comes and you want it to hold on for some time. No, it's another wave. It will also come and go. You enjoy it as long as it is there on the surface. After that, it disappears. And then the new wave starts of some challenge or some difficulty. But the good part is that is also not going to last. It will also go away. Pleasure is an interval between two pains, Bhagwan's definition. So everything is temporary and impermanent. So that's a good news. Don't focus on this temporariness of things. Focus on the eternity of the self, which is changeless. Like ocean is not changing. The waves are coming and going. It appears that the ocean is changing. Even when you look at the ocean, what is the color of the ocean? There is no real color to the ocean. Whatever the minerals are there, or sky's reflection, or whichever way the light is getting scattered by that water, based on the density of water, salts and minerals, that is the color of the ocean. Somewhere it is greenish, somewhere it is brownish, somewhere it is bluish, turquoise, azure. All these are shades. But truly ocean has no color. If you take that water of the ocean, put it in a clear jar, do you see blue color? Do you see some translucence will be there because of the presence of salts, minerals and other things. But it has no water, has no color. But when it is in the ocean, it looks like blue, green and whatever colors. But that's an illusion. That's an illusion. When you analyze carefully, you know there is no color there. Likewise, all these changes and ephemeralities that you see, it is all an illusion. That it is real. This happiness is real. That sadness is real. This opportunity is real. That challenge is real. This profit is real. That loss is real. None of this is real, he is saying. These are all passing. Today it is profitable, tomorrow it will be loss making. Today it is happy day, tomorrow it will be a sad day. Today it's very easy, tomorrow it is going to be challenging. Accept it. Accept it that this is the very nature. And whom should I identify with then? Identify with the ocean, not with the waves. Then you are at peace. Because you didn't change at all because the waves came and went. When wave was born and wave died, you did not die. You were not born. You are always there. Now, this idea itself gives you tremendous mental strength. Yesterday we were talking about psychology and mental issues and weakness and all. But this idea gives you tremendous resilience that I am never going to be diminishing, I am never going to be destroyed. But again, don't identify I with the body. Then you are, wrongly doing it. I as the self, who has no name, no form, is unchangeable, indestructible. All other things will come and go. But our problem is that we want the good things to stay. We want bad things to go. But it won't happen like that. Even to demand something like that is unrealistic. It won't happen, so you will frustrate yourselves. Don't frustrate yourself by wrong understanding and wrong expectations. That is how it will be. So deal with it. How you deal with it? Not out of sadness, oh what a terrible world, nothing works here, everything. No, deal with it with right attitude, right understanding. What is right understanding? I am not going to be affected by all these things. Temporarily maybe yes, but permanently I am the self which is ageless, which is indestructible, which is eternal, which is free from all modifications and changes. Once you start believing in that thought and you are able to experience even a little bit of it, salpamapyasya dharmasya, trayate mahato bhayat, says Krishna. Even little of this you understand, greatest of the fears are alleviated. Why? Because nothing is going to be lost, nothing is going to be gained. Today you might have made a few extra bucks, but that's not going to last. You made few new friends, you are enjoying it, but it's not going to last. Nothing is permanent. When these people do these marriages, they do 7 births, we are going to Saptapadi, one ritual is there. Because by now we have performed so many marriages and not going to perform any more. I am very clear about it. Yadechasi tadha kuru. Go wherever and get married, don't come and ask me. So, whatever marriage we performed, I used to watch the rituals because I had never watched it carefully. When we were kids, when we were told to attend marriages, mostly our Telugu marriages used to be at some unearthly hours, midnight hours only. I don't know where. In Telugu only. The Muhurtams will come at some 1:30 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. All the kids will be falling all around, sleeping. Even elders will be falling. In Karnataka it is good. Day Muhurtams are there. But in Telugu, I asked once, why these Muhurtams, the Telugu people are always in the middle of the night, so unearthly, this and that. I don't know what was the real reason, but somebody told me that not just Telugu, in the original ancient times, most of the marriages used to be performed in the middle of the night, dark, when all are asleep, because they were invaders, thieves, and what you call other castes people were there who were very oppressive. So these smaller people and those who wanted safety, quietly they used to finish off their marriage before any trouble happens. Like the king's people arrive and ask for some extra taxes, or other people come for asking for some favors, or the invaders who were the other rulers who didn't believe in Hindu customs, they would stop the marriage from happening, or the upper caste people will interfere with something. So that was the fear because of which quietly in the middle of the night the marriages were quickly performed and done and dusted by morning. That somebody gave me this explanation, however it is. So where I was telling, so Saptapadi is a ritual where the man takes the woman's toes, and catches hold of her big toe and makes her walk on 7 small piles of rice. And it declares that for the next 7 lifetimes, I'll always be with you and you'll always be with me. And we will look after each other. And generally in a Christian wedding they say for this lifetime we will look after each other. Through sickness and health we will be together. Till death does us apart or something like that. But in our culture we knew we don't die with one death, right? We have several lifetimes after that. So we used to commit for 7 lifetimes, taking the toe of the woman. If it's a good wife, no problem. Imagine. If it turns out to be a bad marriage, your divorce may happen in the court, but this commitment that you have made in the marriage mantapam, you will come back again for 7 more lifetimes, 6 more lifetimes at least. What do you do then? Somebody asked me. So what is the parihara for this? Because while doing the marriage, I committed 7 lifetimes we are going to be together. Now we don't like each other, but I can't deal with 1 lifetime, only 6 more lifetimes. I told you, this happened in front of God as the witness. Court as the witness is okay, you can nullify that marriage, that is a court procedure. But God as a witness, how do you nullify that? So what do I do for next 6 births? I said the only possibility is if you attain moksha, you won't be there, so no marriage, no commitment. But if you don't attain moksha, then deal with it for 6 more births. He said, please teach me how to attain moksha. I will read Ashtavakra Gita. And believe in what Ashtavakra is telling you, so that you don't have to be born again. And if you're not born again, don't have to deal with her next 6 births. So then he said, at least for this reason I should really attain liberation in this lifetime. So various motivations are there for people to turn to God. This could be one motivation. Avoiding the sorrow, dukha, nivrutti, dvesha, or sukha prapti, raga. Anything can be the reason why we want to attain moksha. Find your reason. Now I think the best reason that we want to attain moksha is because that is our true nature. We are supposed to be free. That's why we all value freedom. In all cultures and civilizations, freedom is the most cherished value. Why? Because our nature is freedom. We cannot enjoy if we are bound. Many people come, these kids come, when they see an open ground, like mad children, they run this way, that way. Just go mad. The parents are shocked. Because till now they were well behaved inside the room. The moment they come out in the open ground, without anybody is telling, they just keep running like this. Why do they do that? They want that freedom. An open ground gives them the opportunity to be free. A closed house does not. So imagine all these children caught in those pigeonholes of apartments in these cities. What freedom they will ever experience in their life. So freedom is our nature. If we are bound, we feel restless, we feel agitated, we feel unhappy. If you are free, and best freedom is desirelessness. When you have no desire, you are absolutely free. Desire binds us. And as I keep telling, to me also, this one desire to do good, to help people, binds me right now. If that desire is not there, then I am also free. But as I said, I am bound by a gold chain, you are bound by a silver chain, somebody is with a very lowly desire is bound by an iron chain, that's about it. We are all bound. So Jnani is also bound, he makes himself bound for the sake of others. But the moment the Jnani decides that is enough, that is over. And when that call comes, nobody knows. Nobody knows when that call will come. We are just doing. So when people ask, why do you do? I thought I am not doing, I don't want to do. What is meant to happen is happening. At some point in time, it is not meant to happen. It won't happen after that. Neither you are attached to it, nor you are detached to it. Both concepts don't exist. For a true Jnani, he sees everything as equal and deals with it as it comes. This is the basic way of a Jnani. There is one bhajan, a poem of Kuvempu. You know him, Kuvempu, by now. This is a beautiful poem called O Nanna Chetana Aguni Anaketana. O my consciousness, become free, become unhoused. Don't make houses here. As they don't make your house on a bridge, they say. This is a passing thing. You cannot live here forever. So be free, do not stop, do not restrict yourselves, do not bind yourselves with limited knowledge, understanding of your existence. That is the song.
Nanna Chetana
ಓ ನನ್ನ ಚೇತನ ಆಗು ನೀ ಅನಿಕೇತನ. ಓ ನನ್ನ ಚೇತನ ಆಗು ನೀ ಅನಿಕೇತನ. ಓ ನನ್ನ ಚೇತನ ಆಗು ನೀ ಅನಿಕೇತನ. ರೂಪಗಳನ್ನು ದಾಟಿ ನಾಮಕೋಟಿಗಳನ್ನು ಮೀಟಿ. ರೂಪಗಳನ್ನು ದಾಟಿ ನಾಮಕೋಟಿಗಳನ್ನು ಮೀಟಿ. ಎದೆಯ ಬಿರಿಯೇ ಭಾವದೀಟಿ. ಎದೆಯ ಬಿರಿಯೇ ಭಾವದೀಟಿ. ಓ ನನ್ನ ಚೇತನ ಆಗು ನೀ ಅನಿಕೇತನ. 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 ನೂರು ಮತದ ಹೊಟ್ಟ ತೂರಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ತತ್ವದಲ್ಲೇ ಮೀರಿ. ನೂರು ಮತದ ಹೊಟ್ಟ ತೂರಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ತತ್ವದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮೀರಿ. ನಿರ್ದಿಗಂತವಾಗಿಯೇರಿ ನಿರ್ದಿಗಂತವಾಗಿಯೇರಿ. ಓ ನನ್ನ ಚೇತನ ಆಗು ನೀ ಅನಿಕೇತನ. 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 ಎಲ್ಲಿಯೂ ನಿಲ್ಲದಿರು ಮನೆಯನೊಂದು ಕಟ್ಟದಿರು. ಎಲ್ಲಿಯೂ ನಿಲ್ಲದಿರು ಮನೆಯನೊಂದು ಕಟ್ಟದಿರು. ಕೊನೆಯನೆಂದು ಮುಟ್ಟದಿರು. ಕೊನೆಯನೆಂದು ಮುಟ್ಟದಿರು. ಓ ಅನಂತವಾಗಿರು. ಓ ಅನಂತವಾಗಿರು.
ಅನಂತತಾನಂತವಾಗಿ ಅನಂತವಾಗಿ ಆಗುತಿಹನೆ ನಿತ್ಯ ಯೋಗಿ ಅನಂತವಾಗಿ ಆಗುತಿಹನೆ ನಿತ್ಯ ಯೋಗಿ ಅನಂತನಿ ಅನಂತವಾಗು ಅನಂತನಿ ಅನಂತವಾಗು ಆಗು 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 ಅನಂತನಿ ಅನಂತವಾಗು ಆಗು 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 ಓ ನನ್ನ ಚೇತನ ಆಗು ನೀ ಅನಿಕೇತನ ಓ ನನ್ನ ಚೇತನ ಆಗು ನೀ ಅನಿಕೇತನ ರೂಪ ರೂಪಗಳನ್ನು ದಾಟಿ ನಾಮಕೋಟಿಗಳನ್ನು ಮೀಟಿ ರೂಪ ರೂಪಗಳನ್ನು ದಾಟಿ ನಾಮಕೋಟಿಗಳನ್ನು ಮೀಟಿ ಎದೆಯ ಬಿರಿಯೇ ಭಾವದೀಟಿ ಎದೆಯ ಬಿರಿಯೇ ಭಾವದೀಟಿ ಓ ನನ್ನ ಚೇತನ ಆಗು ನೀ ಅನಿಕೇತನ 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 ಆಗು ನೀ ಅನಿಕೇತನ ಆಗು ನೀ ಅನಿಕೇತನ सर्वसुगुण सिंधवे सकल सुजन बंधवे सर्वसुगुण सिंधवे सकल सुजन बंधवे गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महितमंगलम् सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महितमंगलम् दीन दुखित पोषकाय दान धर्म प्रेरकाय दीन दुखित पोषकाय दान धर्म प्रेरकाय सर्वलोकहितरकाय सर्वमंगलम् सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महितमंगलम् वेदनादवर्धकाय विश्वशान्ति स्थापकाय वेदनादवर्धकाय विश्वशान्ति स्थापकाय ब्रह्मज्ञानबोधकाय दिव्यमङ्गलम् सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महितमङ्गलम् सत्य सत्य साई न प्रियाय सत्य प्रेम विग्रहाय सत्य साई न प्रियाय सत्य प्रेम विग्रहाय नित्य शुद्ध निर्मलाय नित्य मंगलम सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय दिव्य मंगलम सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महित मंगलम। ओम जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी सत्य साई हरे भक्त जना संरक्षक भक्त जना संरक्षक पति महेश्वरा ओम जय जगदीश हरे शशिवदना श्रीकरा सर्वा प्राणपते स्वामी सर्वा प्राणपते आश्रित कल्पलतिका आश्रित कल्पलतिका आपद्बान्धवा ओम जय जगदीश हरे माता पिता गुरुदैवं मरियन्तयु नीवे स्वामी मरियन्तयु नीवे नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथा नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथा नागेन्द्राशयन ओम जय जगदीश हरे ओंकार रूप ओजस्वी साई महादेवा सद्गुरु साई महादेवा मंगल आरती अंदुको मंगल आरती अंदुको मंदर गिरिहारी ओम जय जगदीश हरे नारायण नारायण ओम सत्यनारायण नारायण नारायण ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्यनारायण नारायण ओम सत्यनारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ओम सत्यनारायण नारायण नारायण ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्यनारायण नारायण ओम सत्यनारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ओम सत्यनारायण नारायण नारायण ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्यनारायण नारायण ओम सत्यनारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा शांति 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 समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु शांति 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 जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय जय बोलो सद्गुरु श्री मधुसूदन साई जी की जय